don't know what we hope for. 3-1 win to City.
What?
I think we're going to concede. We're going to be leaky. But I think, the occasion for them, they've had one last-minute winner against Burnley and suddenly they're on top of the world again. It's a joke.
That's what I like. Come swing, come fighting. That's it. Perfect call, Sam. Appreciate it, my man. Thank you. West Ham, remember taking Arsenal in the WSL. That game's about to start. The Moose is going to keep us updated. But up next, we're going to be looking ahead to Ange Postecoglou's first game in charge of Nottingham Forest. And they travel to Arsenal. Lunchtime kickoff tomorrow, and it's live exclusively on talkSPORT.
For every good signing a club makes, there's bound to be a few that don't work out. Manchester United have certainly had their fair share of those, especially since the end of their golden age under Sir Alex Ferguson. Here are some of the Red Devils' worst signings since Fergie. First up, Alexis Sanchez. He'd averaged almost a goal every 2 games for Arsenal, but in his 45 matches for United, he only bagged 5. Next up, Radamel Falcao, dubbed El Tigre, or the Tiger. But at Old Trafford, he was a little more pussycat, to be honest. All the Colombian managed in 29 games was 4 goals. Moving on, things couldn't have gone worse for Jadon Sancho at United, with just 12 goals in 83 games. And it all ended after that very public spat with then-manager Erik ten Hag. Next, Ten Hag probably thought he was wise in sticking to what he knew when he brought in Antony from former club Ajax. But the £86 million Brazilian has really not been able to hack it in the Prem. The curse of the famous number 7 shirt has also had its share of victims. As well as the aforementioned Sanchez, Memphis Depay found he couldn't follow in the footsteps of Ronaldo, Cantona, Beckham and Best. He netted just 7 in 53 appearances. And those are just a few examples. To be honest, the list could go on and on. Unfortunately, that's probably why Man United haven't won the title for over a decade, and why it might take a few more years before they're in contention again.
Well, this is absolutely remarkable. Nottingham Forest 0, West Ham United 3.
When the manager decided to take it upon himself to avail the world of his personal relationship with the owner, it was an inevitable. I said to you at the time, I think in the studio, that's him gone.
If you're going to play expansive and open, does that suit Forest with their counter-attack method of play? That's my question mark with Ange.
Good evening. Thank Footballers Friday. Ade Oladipo alongside Flex. We are going to be talking about Arsenal versus Nottingham Forest. We're probably going to focus more on Nottingham Forest. Obviously, new manager. What is Marinakis doing? What's Edu doing? We'll discuss that. But there has been a goal in the game that the Moose is watching for us. Moose, which way has it gone?
5 minutes gone. West Ham 1, Arsenal 0. A more bizarre goal you will not see this weekend, and you might not see actually all season as well. West Ham down the right-hand side, really deep cross. It was basically the goalkeeper's just there to catch. He wasn't really under pressure from any West Ham forward. And Van Domselaar sort of caught the ball and then seemed to throw it into her own net. It was the most bizarre own goal I think I've ever seen. It's West Ham 1, Arsenal 0. It's a Van Domselaar own goal, and when you see it, you won't believe it either.
It's a big goal. It's a big game as well. Big game for West Ham against Arsenal. All right, let's see what Arsenal can do against Nottingham Forest. Remember, that game is tomorrow lunchtime. It's live and exclusive on talkSPORT. Reshman Chowdhury alongside Sam Matterface and former England captain Stuart Pearce. This is a good listen as well. I've got to plug this. The latest episode of the brand new talkSPORT Daily podcast is available right now. Max Scott, Adrian Clark, and Nottinghamshire, live, Sarah Clapson discuss whether Ange Ball will work at Nottingham Forest. You can tune in on the talkSPORT app or wherever you get your podcast from to listen to it. All right, will Ange Ball work? What is Ange Ball now, though? I mean, because we saw what we thought was Ange Ball, and then all of a sudden, Europa League final, it completely changed to a different type of ball. If you're a Nottingham Forest fan, what style of football do you want? A mixture of the two, maybe?
Well, yeah, if you're a Forest fan, you want to see a level of adaptability. You don't want to see that stern, stubborn, no matter how the results are going, the feeling of the team, who's available, you're going hell.
He doesn't have the personnel for that.
No, he doesn't.
Especially defensively. He doesn't have the personnel.
Defensively, it's not the same. You don't have
the legs to get back.
You don't have the legs to do it. But you do want to see a style of play and something that is clearly identifiable. And you're going to get that with Ange Postecoglou. And I listened to him in his first press conference and says, he wants his team. What I do like about Ange's approach, if I'm honest, is that like football's an entertainment sport. Yeah. He's like, I want my team to dominate the ball.
He's an entertaining character.
And he's an entertaining character. But I want my team to reflect me as a person.
Yeah.
And I want to be on the front foot. I want to be all at it. When we don't have the ball, I want it back as quickly as possible. And I want to attack and score goals. Now, obviously, there have to be some pragmatism sometimes. You have to understand the feeling or the emotion of a game or the tactics to deploy in a certain moment of the game. It's okay to suffer for 10, 15 minutes, feel your way into the game, go long a bit, get it turned around corners, get up the pitch, consolidate. It's okay to score one in a tough environment, see how we are, we're under siege a little bit. We'll see this out, we'll defend properly till halftime. Those things is what makes a good manager, right? And I think where it went wrong at Spurs for the large parts of it, because when he came in, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
First 10, 15 games. You're going,
near top of the table.
Look at this. Do you see what I'm saying?
Madison was flying for him.
He gets that kick, he gets that bounce. And I understand why there's complete reservations about this appointment, because you look at the squad building that's been done at Forest, but he has shown that when he goes in somewhere, he can convince players to do this.
Yeah.
It's whether it works in the long time and how adaptable he is when it starts going wrong, when other teams start sussing it out, or if they're off it because they're not as sharp, or this certain players are not as fit. I think, look, I played close attention to Spurs, obviously, during the back end of last season as I was working out, we're going to see them in the final, right? And against Bodo Glimt, against Eintracht Frankfurt, and of course in the final in that Europa League run-in, there was this pragmatism from him.
Yeah.
There was this, we're away from home, we'll hold on to this. You know, in the final, definitely I saw it. They scored and they went, right, we'll shut up shop. Now, only time we have to wait to see whether
pragmatism, but it's not a good brand of football.
No, you can't play that
football
all the time. But that's what I'm saying. I don't think Forest fans are necessarily asking for that. You know, look, Nuno was very much like that last year, and they started getting undone a little bit because it's like you can't keep playing on the back foot and only hitting teams on the counter. So that will bring a bit of a freshness about the place. And I don't think this is going to be as a horrific appointment as everybody thinks, because think about these, you know, the big games, you know, especially in Europe, right? When they're under the lights at the City Ground, say they got to play, I don't even know who's in the Europa League as well. I don't know, someone like Betis or I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, like, let's have it right. Like, they're going to do some damage in this competition at home, like with that style of football on the front foot.
Agreed, and not just
against
style of football, but the players they've got as well.
They've got good players. They've got a good squad.
Yeah, all right. Let's hear from the new Forest manager, Ange Postecoglou. This is what he had to say in his first time he spoke to the media.
It's what I've done my whole career, and that's what I want to try and do here. And from that point of view, like I said, looking at sort of the opportunity that exists here, is that every club wants to be successful for sure, but what I've seen over the last few years is since the president took over the club, is that those ambitions are backed up with actions, and it's perfect conditions for me.
Oh, I like it. I actually do like Ange. I think
I do.
Football can be sometimes, some of the managers, their answers
we need these
post and pre-games are just so boring. And he comes and he'll fight the reporter, he'll fight anyone.
And he's prickly, and sometimes
prickly to the fans, prickly to his own fans.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't mind it. I do, though, think it's almost, for me, it's a recipe for disaster, because I look at Marinakis and I don't know if he'll accept that prickliness.
But is
that a word? Did I just make up a word there?
Prickliness.
Prickliness.
I think that's a word.
Can someone Google that? Is that a word?
We can fact check that, but I think that's a word.
I think so.
But then you have to. But let's be real. This is going to be anybody who works under Evangelos Marinakis.
Yeah.
Like Nuno seemed like quite a calm character. You know, it's okay. Obviously, he's a bit combustible now, and they didn't see eye to eye. We know Ange is that type of guy. Whoever works under Marinakis, if he decides I've had enough of this, then it's over.
Yeah.
So I don't really think that's just how it's going to be.
Yeah. I almost feel like this is a job for the short term, as opposed to any Nottingham Forest fan out there thinking, any Nottingham Forest fan thinking this is a rebuild and it's going to take 3 years, and Ange, it's not for 3 years.
But also, it's to win. It's, I think.
Imagine Ange going back to back in the Europa League.
He could be. I think he could be the first manager to go back to back with two different teams to win the Europa League. And you do have to put a bit of respect on his name. He is the current. I know he can't technically say it because he's not at Spurs anymore. Yeah. He's the current holder
of a European
trophy, a competition of which Forest are in. So in terms of navigating that, he's just won it.
Was all this fair on Nuno, though? Nuno, who, I mean, let's be honest, Forest's run last season, when we all thought they were going to make Champions League, was incredible.
Amazing, yeah.
And all of a sudden, Chris Wood is turning into Alan Shearer. Man. Morgan Gibbs-White was running midfield games. Elanga was just Usain Bolt down the wing, wasn't he? It was incredible.
Anderson,
everything. Look at Elliot Anderson now, and this is what, because of Nuno's sort of inputted in. So don't get me wrong, Eddie Howe obviously had his play, but this is what Nuno put in.
Sells one of the top keepers in the league. Yeah.
So Nuno's unlucky, massively unlucky.
Yeah, he is, because really what's happened is he's been a victim of the hierarchy changing at board level, or the decision make, like in Edu coming in. And when that happens, the people above the manager, if you don't align, or they have their own ideas that don't include you, this happens, especially with a combustible character like Marinakis, and they start buying players you don't really want. And like you say, when we saw Nuno go to the presser, I think it was for the first game, wasn't it?
That's when you knew there was a problem. And he spoke his mind.
He spoke his mind, and
it was done there.
It was over. And actually, even for the UEFA draw, when they wanted to find out, when they would go to see who they're going to play, I watched an interview with Marinakis saying, listen, There's been some things, but we'll continue with Nuno. We'll have conversations. We'll sort this out. It'll be okay. And I'm thinking, fair enough. I didn't think Marinakis was going to say that, so maybe it's going to be all right. But they never truly recovered from, a changing of the guard. And it is pretty sad for Nuno to build that team and the Forest fans to... I'm not going to suggest that they fell out of love with their football team, but brought back the amazing
they
feeling.
Did.
I think I don't like 100%. Speaking for fan bases.
No, they did.
I mean,
there's no Forest fan that
enjoyed
last season.
Exactly.
Season prior to that, enjoyed the football, enjoyed where they were.
Exactly. So he's brought that back.
Europa League. They're in the Europa League.
Europa League, and really, it felt like they were so unfortunate to not have enough in the tank to stay with the pace to get in the Champions League, and he hasn't been able to stay to have the fruits of the labour of that, has he? So, so it's a sad one, but...
I think there'll be a lot of players as well upset that he's gone.
There will be.
I think we've seen Morgan Gibbs-White. I can't remember what game it was when Morgan Gibbs-White was like looking at the fans saying, clap him for what he's done. He's done a great job, but we'll see what Ange does. Remember that game, Nottingham Forest travelling to the Emirates. Won't be easy, will it? Lunchtime kickoff, Reshman Chowdhury presenting that game. All right, let's get an update as to what's going on in the cricket. The last time we went there, John Norman couldn't stop speaking. England versus Africa, John.
I couldn't stop speaking. I'll keep this a little briefer for you, Ade. 230 for 2, England. Phil Salt's gone past 100. He's 108 from 45. Harry Brooks in there now. Jacob Bethel went for 26, caught on the boundary from just 14 deliveries. Butler started it all off with his 30-ball 83. I'm not sure England are going to go past 300 now. 5 overs remaining, 230 for 2.
You know when I said John couldn't stop speaking, what I meant to say, he couldn't stop speaking good stuff. I think he thought I meant like he couldn't stop speaking like it was going on so long. No, couldn't stop speaking about how good it was. Sorry, John, if that came across slightly rude. All right, up next, we're going to be taking a closer look at the other side in tomorrow's game, the mighty Arsenal.
Up steps Alvarez and slams it into the bottom left-hand corner. A ferocious penalty.
What a goal! Liverpool 1, Arsenal 0.
We really want more. We want to win more of those games, and reviewing what we've done, and as well the circumstances that we had, not only in the way that we play, but in other areas there are still room to improve for sure.
Always speaks well, does Mikel Arteta. Thank Footballers Friday, Ade Oladipo alongside Flex. We were speaking about Nottingham Forest and what Ange Postecoglou has to do. Let's sort of switch sides now to the opposing dugout and what Mikel Arteta has to do. And I guess his remit is a lot easier than Ange Postecoglou's. It's simple. He has to win the league. Has to win the league or win the Champions League. Good luck. It's not that easy, is it?
It's not easy.
It's not that easy. They've had a good start, I think, to the season. I think that game against Liverpool at Anfield could have gone either way. It took something really special to win it. Szoboszlai's free kick, which probably the free kick of the decade, winning that game. Do you have Arsenal to win the league or Liverpool, out of interest?
I've got Liverpool to win it. I want Arsenal to win it, but I've got.
Didn't ask you about the last part. I only asked you one question.
Freedom of speech, mate.
Yeah. If you've got Liverpool to win it, why don't you have Arsenal to win it?
Because I'm not sure that the handbrake's going to be off enough to be able to close that gap enough to Liverpool. I think Arsenal are going to give a better account of themselves. I think they're going to win a lot of football matches. I think they're going to push Liverpool a lot further than they did last year. But Liverpool just have this inevitability about them, even if they haven't been great, even if they're not at their best, they just find different ways to win football matches.
Rio and Gamora.
Off the bench, kid comes on and wins it. Then
16-year-old gets the last-minute goal against Newcastle.
Away at Newcastle, St James's Park, tough place to go. You look at what happened against Arsenal. That was a 0-0 game. Nothing really much in it, and a moment of magic from Szoboszlai.
Wait. Before I ask you why Arteta doesn't have that, then there has been another goal in the WSL game between West Ham and Arsenal. Is it an equaliser or is it 2-0, the Moose?
It's West Ham 1, Arsenal 1. It's an equaliser for the Gunners, scored by Frida Marnham, a shot from around about 12, 13 yards out right of centre, beyond Megan Walsh and into the corner net. By the way, one other game going on tonight as well in the WSL, up in Manchester. Manchester City 0, Brighton 1. Frank Kirby has just put Brighton ahead there. But here in East London, Arsenal have equalised. West Ham 1, Arsenal 1.
Almost seems inevitable now that Arsenal will go on and win that game. All right. All those things you said about Liverpool, in terms of, funny, you actually said it is inevitable when they go and win games.
Yeah.
Why can't the same thing be applied to Arsenal? They have experience. The manager's got experience. They've got winners in their team. They've got winners in that squad now. Let's say the squad, because I think they've got the best squad in the Premier League. Why don't you have that same confidence?
They still haven't done it. This group hasn't done it. Like when
as a group,
when
as individuals, they have collected trophies elsewhere.
Right, but as collectively with what Mikel Arteta's built, which is brilliant, by the way, up until this point. He's done a very, very good job. They haven't got over the line yet. So there's always going to be these difficult moments where they might second guess themselves. I think also we spoke about Ange, how his team is an embodiment of him. I think we're seeing that in Arsenal as well. The team is very much an embodiment of Mikel Arteta, whereas it feels like in the last year or so, season and a half, like I want to say they've gone backwards because they've still been definitely the second best in the league, but their football looks different.
Yeah,
I feel like when I'm watching it, I feel like they've got. I feel you've still got more gears. And I feel like the manager has got you in such a systematic way of doing this this way. I think that freedom of expression to really go let that handbrake off. You look at their defense; it is the best in the league.
Yeah,
statistically, it is right.
Fantastic.
So I'm like, Mikel, these guys can defend. Leave them in 1v1 situations.
Trust that back five and your number 6, and just let them boys play.
Let them go play. Let the handbrake off. So I think this is as much as about. This isn't. There's been so much made about Arsenal just need a striker. That's all they need. They need, and go get Eze. There's not enough spoken about. Like the other 50% of what they need is for Arteta probably to change a bit.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? And I don't mean wholesale changes, throw your philosophy out the way. But I mean, have a little bit of that bravery to go that little bit further into that little bit of territory, that uncharted territory.
Why can't the players take off the handbrake themselves?
Well, because I think, like I said, they're an embodiment
ultimately,
of their
he's never really going to Say Saka takes the handbrake off, which he does, by the way.
No, he's
never going to drop Saka.
Saka's getting
he's never
doubled
going
up
to drop
every single
Declan
game.
Rice, is he?
No.
But why can't these players do it then? Why does it have to be the manager? Like, I look at Liverpool, Salah will do it himself sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay, Slot's trying to give me the ball. Do you know what I mean? Why can't they do that?
I think that becomes down to, do Arsenal have killers like that? Do they have those type of players? That's why they're saying, go and get that. Havertz is not that guy.
No.
Who's going to do it himself. Marino, when he's filling in up front, is not that guy. Martinelli is not that guy.
In Eze and Saka? Is Eze that guy?
More so.
But not
not
top.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Gyökeres is going to need service to do it, but already he's gone, I'm on pens. I score goals round here. This is what I do. Do you know what I mean? So it's down to the characters. Mo Salah's a Premier League great.
Yeah, you see Mo Salah fighting Mane. Like, I'm not even passing to you because I want to score.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And he's inevitable. So I just think, but then on the flip side of this, I do think that they are stuck between a rock and a hard place, Arsenal. I'm not trying to make excuses for them because everybody says, second again,
sounds like you're about to.
No, I'm not. I'm just looking at it. I'm just trying to be as neutral as I can because I like when the banter flies around Arsenal. He didn't win again. I do it all the time. You know me, right? But we have to sometimes talk about things honestly. And it's like, we're all saying, you got to go win the league or you're out. But we're like, but Liverpool favourites.
No. You see, no, I won't accept that. And the only reason I won't accept that
with Isak.
No, because Klopp had this with City. When Klopp played that City team, that were 100-point City team,
find a way.
You've got to, and everyone laughs. So you only won one trophy, but he found a way to win one and win a Champions League against that behemoth. And Liverpool are not a behemoth like City were. So you've almost got to find a way.
That's what's annoying me.
Liverpool can be got at.
The Man United thing's coming out. This is what annoys me
They're
about
not City, Liverpool.
They're not.
They can be.
They look like they can be got at.
Of course they can.
Well, no, they can be got at.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I don't know.
I'm not silly. This isn't peak Salah or peak Van Dijk.
No.
Do you know what I mean? They can be got at. So that's why I don't give Arteta the excuses.
But I do think it's an Arteta thing, though. Like I said, I've never subscribed to the theory that Arsenal just go and get a striker, they're going to win the league. My eyes have always been, can Arteta be the guy to get them over the line? He's galvanised the football club. We talk about making fans fall back in love with their football club again. He's stopped them being a laughing stock. People got to take Arsenal seriously.
$250 million spent by Arteta.
Exactly. The money's been spent.
And they've only sold £9 million worth of players. So his net spend's bigger.
It's not the Cronkies anymore. You can't say that. There's no investment. Where's our players? It's not that. Don't get me wrong. I do sympathise with Arsenal fans because in a way of they took too long to get a striker. Why? Is that the stubbornness again of the manager? Nope, I want Havertz. It's fine. I'm doing it this way. Nope, in January, we're not going strong. We're going to stay with what we've got. And then the injuries kicked in and then the whole season fell to pot. So I believe that one of the biggest limitations holding Arsenal back from just getting over that line might actually be the guy.
Is an FA Cup big enough?
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
No, it's not.
So it's got to be the league.
It's got to be the big two.
So if he doesn't win the league or the Champions League, he's out.
Well,
you know what scares me about that statement?
No, I
don't. What scares me about that statement? You don't believe it?
No,
because I agree.
Context
I don't think. Yeah, context is key. But I also don't think the grass is greener in terms of who you can get in anyway. It's not like you can get in someone that's going to guarantee you win the league.
No. And I think to throw away where you are, like you said, for a whole new approach. And also, if Arsenal finished trophyless this season, which, listen, I'd laugh my head off, I'd be right there for it, right? But if they do, but the context was they got to the Champions League final.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. No, but in the Premier League,
when we look back in 10 years,
they lost on goal difference.
Context doesn't matter 10 years.
So if they lost by a point or two or by goal difference,
you've still lost.
So you should get sacked.
There can only be one winner.
Should you get sacked?
It depends. If Slot wins it and wins back to back,
but everyone's saying he should. But then everyone's saying Slot. Tell you what, mate. What's your excuses now? By the way,
pressure's on.
What you've got. Look what you've got.
Yeah, and
you can't go trophyless.
Look what you didn't give me last season. Look what you didn't give me. He's making up for 2 seasons. All right, Ipswich versus Sheffield United is about to get underway on talkSPORT 2. Big game. That's why Bentley's not here, by the way.
Yeah.
I was like, where was Bentley for Drive? He's in the studio.
Sharp.
Look at studio. Fresh haircut, which he doesn't do for talkSPORT. Makeup on, everything.
He looks young enough to be starting for his Ipswich days.
He actually
looks
does.
fresh.
You're right, he does.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to concentrate on that a bit later because when we come back, we're going to look ahead to what they're calling the fight of the century. Gareth A. Davis is going to join us live from Las Vegas.
What do you get when some of the most individual sports stars club together? Well, a melting pot of history, tension, rivalry, friendship and elite stories. Here are some of the best off-camera anecdotes from the Ryder Cup. Number 1, Tigers' loo roll. The protagonist, Lee Westwood's former caddy, Billy Foster, set in a toilet cubicle at the Belfry. As he went to relieve his first morning nerves, Foster noticed only one of the 2 cubicles had loo roll, and while he was seated, in came a tiger into the empty cubicle, and he realised his mistake all too late. So Foster took some paper, reached under the cubicle with a rescue offering, and as Tiger went to take it, Foster uttered the words, "Europe, 1-up." As it happened, Europe did go on to win. Fast forward 10 years to the miraculous Medina, when, after a gruelling Saturday, Rory McIlroy overslept on the Sunday and was in danger of missing his tee time. Thankfully for him, the person booking player transport was Erica Stoll. She sorted him a police escort to the course. 3 years later, McIlroy proposed in Paris. The next story is told by Scottish legend Sam Torrance about the great Seve, who apparently despised the Americans mainly because of a diminutive US reporter who kept calling him Steve.
Hey, my name is Severiano or Seve. There's no Steve, huh? There's no Steve. Next day, Steve.
Torrance also tells of how Seve regularly gave coaching clinics to his European teammates, but a week later at the Italian Open, when the same players asked for advice, Seve would tell them to and see you next year. Having started with a Billy Foster story, let's finish with one from the 12th tee at Oakland Hills in 2004. It was Jimenez and Garcia against Westwood and Clark in a practice round, and as they finished, Foster decided to jump in the buggy and speed away with all their clubs, only to lose control entirely and tumble onto the course and see it careering towards the spectators. Thankfully, the Red Sea parted and the buggy smashed into a tree, with viewers and clubs still intact.
We're talking about all-time greats here in what I think is Terence Crawford, and I think that Terence Crawford is incredible at controlling the space.
Canelo's the favourite, mate. Listen, he's the king of Las Vegas. It's a Mexican holiday weekend. He's got everything to lose. He's fighting a smaller guy.
Strong words there from talkSPORT boxing pundit Adam Cattrall, and I don't agree with him, but we are going to talk about that, though. This hour we're going to talk about Serbia versus England. Not necessarily the game, because that's old news, but I do want to talk about Elliot Anderson. A lot of people are talking about this wonder kid, right? Could he be the future of England's midfield? We're going to look ahead to Brentford versus Chelsea, and a bit of too good, too bad as well. But on Saturday night or Sunday morning, for many of us, Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford will battle it out to become the undisputed super middleweight champion of the world. Honestly, one of the biggest fights I can ever remember. Our team in Vegas are going to keep you updated from a busy fight week, including daily updates, interviews, which they've done so many of already, and exclusive content to keep you right across Alvarez versus Crawford this week on talkSPORT and the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel. Is Mr. Gareth A. Davis there? He is there. There you go. Gareth, I'm not jealous at all, Gareth, but fill me in. What's it been like in Vegas so far?
Really, really busy, Ade and Flex. Massively long day yesterday with the team, myself and Adam Catterall. Chats to Dana White, Lennox Lewis, Tio Lopez, the wrestler, Ray, Precious Ray. We had an amazing day with so many different names. Antonio Tarver, Roy Jones. Everybody's got a view on this fight. And everybody knows that it's one of those fistic chess matches that you parlay back and forth with so many people in so many different ways. And you know what it's like around a fight week. The chatter is always strong. And when it's two particularly elite fighters, you just go back and forth in discussions with people. Vegas is heating up. The press conference was interesting yesterday. Dana White there, of course, a UFC very interesting.
Oh, we've just lost him.
He said it's heating up.
Yeah, just as I was ready, I had a perfect question like formulated in my brain, and he's gone. Hopefully we can get him back, but obviously you saw the connection there. It's very, very difficult, right? It shouldn't really happen in sort of 21st century, but we'll see if we can get him back. Your level of excitement for this. I know what my level of excitement is as a hardcore boxing fan. Yeah. You're very much a casual boxing fan. I know you love your boxing as well.
I love the big fights.
You love the big fights. It doesn't get much bigger than this.
It doesn't, and like I said earlier, when I went to Spence Crawford, I understood that, like, wow, I'm witnessing history. Like, oh my gosh, I'm actually going to this fight, and this supersedes that. I think it's incredible to see the two of these two come together at this point. And
almost doesn't seem real.
That's exactly.
It almost doesn't seem real.
I never thought I could see a fight.
Yeah, between
these
like
two.
if someone told you this 2 years ago, you said they're mad.
It's been silly.
Like, are we talking about Canelo versus Crawford?
Yeah.
Crawford's at 147, Canelo's at 168. Talking about going to 175.
It's such a big jump, and I know we'll get into it, but me as a more casual fan, I'm maybe you can help me out. I feel privileged to be talking to like you and Gareth right here about this. This is fantastic, right?
No, honestly, no, it really is.
Because
this is something special.
Am I right in thinking I think that it will be difficult for Crawford to win this fight? One, because he's going up so much in weight, right? I think he's too good to get caught and dropped and KO'd because he's just too much of a good fighter.
Yeah.
So I don't think he gets hurt or caught.
It's likely that this fight goes to
I think it goes to distance. And if it goes to distance, and I know what his record's like in Vegas, Alvarez, like, is it going to be enough for the judge? I feel like it could be like a bit of a Robbie. They won't give it to him.
It's a good shot. Let's bring Gareth back in. But judges has been a big talking point because Canelo rarely loses in Vegas. I mean, he lost to Bivol, but Bivol, won that fight clearly. It is difficult, isn't it? I mean, Gareth, me and you've kind of gone back and forth on this one for about a month, and you've always leaned to Canelo ever so slightly, 55-45. As we are now, 48 hours away from it less, are you still Team Canelo, or have you seen something in Crawford this week?
No, I've really, really gone over to the side of Canelo now. Apologies for the internet connection then. Canelo all day long for me after being around them for the last 24 hours. He will just have too much for Terence Crawford. And as you know, I kind of alluded to this with you earlier in the week, Ade. Crawford's going to have to change his style, in my view, to beat Canelo. And the style that he needs to do that in will only expose him more in terms of exchanges. No, I think Canelo is primed, and I think it will be his fight on the night. Notwithstanding, if Crawford does pull off, in my view, the improbable, it sets up for an even bigger fight here, Riyadh, London, wherever, next year between the two men.
There's a lot of talk about the size, right, the physicality of Canelo. He is the now natural 168-pounder, although he actually is a small 168. You've now seen them face to face, right? They were a couple of inches away from each other. Physically, how good is Crawford looking?
Really good. I mean, he does look good. He looks toned. He looks primed. He even speaks with a great confidence. But there's an aura about Canelo that we saw at the press conference yesterday, and a barometer of the amount of support he's going to get here in the T-Mobile Arena when we had the press conference. 4,000 odd people in there. Massive support for him, as you can imagine, on Mexican Independence or Mexican holiday weekend here in Las Vegas. There is something about Canelo's focus, that the presence he's giving off, that just makes me feel that sluggishness that people have critiqued in his last few performances, particularly against Skull in Saudi Arabia a few months back, will be gone for this performance.
You know, a lot of the build-up has been, this is the fight of the century. In the last 30 years, you've been to nearly all the big fights, if not all of them. How does this compare to some of the biggest that you've been to? Did you step off the plane and did it hit you that this is something truly enormous, or is it grown into an enormous fight?
No, it's growing day by day because more people are coming in for the weekend. There's fans over. When I got on the plane, half the plane, 330 odd passengers on the Virgin Atlantic flight, Ade, won't surprise you this, were boxing fans. And I ended up in several conversations on the way there anyway. It's a big draw, this fight. It feels as big as the Wilder Fury fights that were here, as big as a lot of the Mayweather fights. I think even for me, the comparison that I like to make is that this reminds me of Oscar De La Hoya and Floyd Mayweather back in 2007 that broke all pay-per-view records at the time, that generated $140 million. I think Canelo's even getting more than that himself for this fight, by the way. So this is the investment of Saudi Arabian coin, if you like, and Turkey Al Sheikh. It's been interesting this week to see Dana White around it, Turkey Al Sheikh, their first big promotion together, and how extraordinary that the biggest fight in so many years in Las Vegas is going to be broadcast on a TV series streaming platform, Netflix, and promoted by the biggest cage fighting promotion in the world in the UFC. We wouldn't have been able to talk about that 2 years ago, let alone dream of this fight happening.
Yeah, it is unbelievable, and especially, like we keep saying, for people who are not, maybe didn't follow boxing as intrinsically as this before, now you get the chance to really open up these fights. Gareth, we always talk about what happens after these type of fights. So what does the winner go on to do? And if this fighter loses, he's finished, or it's a very difficult road back, and this, that, and the other. Where does that lie with these two mammoth giants now? If somebody win this fight, where do they go? If the loser, where do they go? What does it mean?
Well, I'll play out the ramifications. If Terence Crawford wins on points, or if he wins by stoppage, it probably, but you can't rule it out, they will fight again. There's no question they'll fight again, because Canelo won't want to let that rest. He'll have been beaten by a guy who's come up from lightweight, and he will want to get that super middleweight undisputed title back, and it will obviously generate more money. If Canelo wins, and he wins handsomely, or he wins in a close fight, we might still get a second fight. But my feeling is Crawford, if he loses, that may be sayonara for him. It may be the end for him. Canelo has already told us this week he's still got legacy stuff to do. He's still got fights to do. We know there's fights with the people like Hamza Shiraz in the background. That is definitely being discussed. There's a bucket list fight for him against a 10th British fighter in the UK for the Brit killer in the ring, if you like. He would love to fight at Wembley Stadium, he's told me. So those are the ramifications. But if it's a close, controversial fight, as you're both talking about and mentioning, I just think they get it done here again next year. And what it does, it allows the oxygen of publicity for Dana White, TKO, and Turkey to move mountains, if you like, to get boxing relevant again in the USA.
Very quickly, Gareth, I know you're a busy man as well, but obviously there's been a lot of talk over here from Eddie Hearn, who's going to want to try and make his own biggest fight of the century, and the only way he can do that is by getting Fury and AJ in the ring. You would have seen AJ's sort of tweet or Instagram post. What'd you make of it? And do you think finally there could be some legs in it? I feel like I've been asking this question to you for nearly 5 years, but do you think there's anything in it at all now?
Yeah, I have been talking to the teams behind the scenes, and they are definitely in discussions to make Tyson Fury against Anthony Joshua next year. Talks are definitely ongoing. They are very much alive. I can promise you that, because I've spoken to the people in the know and the people involved in it. But secondarily, and I saw an interview with Eddie Hearn on talkSPORT, I think yesterday, with Andy Goldstein, or the day before, where he's Eddie's talking about Anthony Joshua potentially fighting in January or February in Ghana, and that corroborates with the information I've got as well. So it's likely that Fury and Joshua will have a tune-up fight that they believe, or their teams will put them into, for them to get the juice flowing again. And I think we see them fight spring to summer next year.
Gareth, my man, enjoy it for us. Enjoy it for me, Gareth, please.
I will. I'm just at the pool right now.
Okay, look, turn off this camera. We don't need to see that. Turn off the camera. It's fine. Gareth was, every time I spoke to Gareth in the lead up to this, he was like, 55-45 Canelo. All of a sudden, he's gone so in on Canelo, which makes me feel like he's been having tequilas with Mexican fight fans. They've been buying him tequilas.
How do you feel about this?
I feel like Crawford's going to win it.
Do you?
Yeah, I'm leaning to Crawford.
Not stop him, is he?
No, I think Crawford's going to win 7-5, so it's going to be very, very good. Yeah. Crawford's unbeaten. He's unbeaten.
And listening to Gareth saying, like, if Crawford loses this, could be sayonara. And I'm like, it's terrible.
If Crawford wins, he becomes an all-time great.
I was going to say,
gets into that discussion as all-time great. And I think that's the carrot that's.
Is he not in it already?
No.
No,
not all-time.
Terence Crawford's not in the discussion.
Not the top. He's top 30. Yeah, I mean, if you're talking Sugar Ray Robinson, you're talking the Muhammad Ali's. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's got to have to do some damage to be in that.
Divisions, he's done it.
No.
But this
could do it.
Right.
And that's what's important. Where for Canelo, this doesn't move him up a place.
Even this version of Canelo, is Canelo not sort of
take it? He's the undisputed super middleweight champion. Yeah. You're going up in weight. You're beating him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not going to be easy. All right, don't forget this Saturday, I will be in Belfast. Really good matchup, this one. Lewis Crocker versus Paddy Donovan for the IBF welterweight title fight. Historic all-Irish showdown. Windsor Park, 20,000 expected. And you can watch this on DAZN.
Boxing update on talkSPORT with DAZN, the global home of boxing. Sign up now at dazn.com/boxing.
All right, we're on the cusp of half-time in the game. The Moose is watching. Remember, it's the WSL game, West Ham versus Arsenal. It was 1 apiece when we left you. Is it still that?
It is. It's still West Ham 1, Arsenal 1 as the half-time whistle is about to go here. We're only meant to have 3 added minutes, and we played 4 of them, but there is the half-time whistle. West Ham ahead in bizarre circumstances inside 5 minutes. A cross from the right-hand side was literally thrown into her own net by Van Domstelaar in the Arsenal goal. It was a bizarre own goal. But Arsenal were level after 21 minutes. Beth Mead's through ball for Freedom Manham to fire into the corner of the net and equalise for Arsenal. Neither side really did enough after that to claim a lead before the break. So at half-time here, Arsenal, who won 4-1 last week, are level with West Ham. Meanwhile, in the other game, it is Manchester City 0, Brighton 1 at half-time. The goal scorer there was Fran Kirby. But here in East London, half-time, West Ham 1, Arsenal 1.
All right, let's get an update on what's going on in the second T20 between England and South Africa. John Norman.
Well, they did make it past 300 for the first time in a match in T20 cricket, contested between 2 test-playing nations. One side has scored in excess of 300. 304 for 2 from the 20 overs, and the bedrock of that extraordinary 20 overs was Phil Salt's 142 not out at the top of the order. 60 deliveries, so he faced half the balls available to England, 15 fours and 8 sixes. Word should also be mentioned to Joss Butler, who was outscoring his opening partner at one stage, 83 from just 30. Absolutely extraordinary. England 304 for 2, so South Africa need 305 to win.
By the way, there has just been a goal in the game over on talkSPORT 2 as well between Ipswich and Sheffield United. It's gone the way of Ipswich. You can listen to that game over on talkSPORT 2. When we come back, not many people complaining about Thomas Tuchel now, are they? Fantastic win for England against Serbia. We're going to look at how England is shaping up under the new England international manager.
Anderson has played it forward. It's a clever touch around the corner. Madueke is inside the penalty area. And it's 2. It's played in towards Gahey for 4. It just gets better and better. A stunning performance and a quite magnificent victory for Thomas Tuchel's England.
I'm embarrassed to say I was hate watching that game just to give Tuchel stick.
Why?
I was like, I'm going to give him stick
you're one of them.
because the Andorra game was so bad. I was like, they're definitely not going to do anything against Serbia. And all of a sudden, when one went in, I was like, okay, what's going on here?
People like you.
And
terrible.
2, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe I like Tuchel.
Where are you now?
I'm firmly a Tuchel in, man.
Oh, no, you've just changed on
firmly,
one game.
5-0 away to Serbia. I'm definitely in.
Hardest game.
Footballers Friday, Ade Oladipo alongside Flex. We were talking in the break about Harry Kane. Now, I didn't even want this subject to be about Harry Kane, but I just got his stats in front of me. 109 games for England, 74 goals.
Yeah, it's a joke.
That's ridiculous.
The best striker.
Yeah, but no, best striker ever.
Well, yeah.
This is the thing, isn't it? Because you know that ever conversation?
Yeah.
Like Rooney's the guy, isn't it? But his numbers destroy Rooney.
They do destroy Rooney.
Rooney's a better looking footballer. In terms of what Rooney can do in the ball, you're thinking of Rooney. But in terms of just efficiency.
He's a better all-round footballer than Harry Kane.
Yeah, that's what Rooney is.
Let's not.
But is he a better striker than Harry Kane?
Well, no, because Rooney, compared to a lot of Alan Shearer's a better striker than Wayne Rooney. Like Wayne Rooney is just, to me, the greatest English player like ever. Like, let's not.
This generation, this era.
Yeah.
We don't even compare it to Bobby Charlton.
No.
We're talking about like the Gerrard.
He's the greatest.
So do I. I think that, but numbers don't lie.
Do you know what the problem is?
Numbers don't lie sometimes.
They don't lie, but let me ask you this though.
Go on.
What is the tournament? I know he did get the golden boot at one.
So you just answered it then.
No, but no. But wait, let me finish.
You were just about to say what?
No, because I know.
But he got a golden boot.
I said that because I know what you're going to say. Because I know you're going to add that in because context is key.
Yeah.
I still don't feel like he's had a tournament where you go, just give the ball to him. Like Rooney has had that.
Yeah, that tournament. Yeah.
Like where France, get off me, John. Yeah. Get off me. Get like.
And what was Rooney? 8.
There's just a little bit missing, even though those numbers are as big as they are. Yeah. He's incredible and he should still be England's number 9.
I do feel like, I don't know if this is correct. I'm going to see if I can word it correctly in my head before I say it out loud. But I do feel like he benefits from the fact there is no one around.
Yeah, there's not been really anyone.
There's been nobody. Yeah.
No.
I mean, do you remember when it was like Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Tammy Abraham, obviously Dominic Solanke? Like, there's been no one. Ivan Toney.
Yeah.
There's been no one's like, okay, he has to take. Sturridge early. I think Sturridge is actually in front of him for a period. But there's been no one to push him. So he's almost been the guaranteed starter no matter what.
And rightly so.
But still, 74 goals is
his record for club and country is just ridiculous. He sometimes he doesn't get the respect he does deserve.
Yeah. Craig Hope saying Elliot Anderson is basically the best midfielder on planet Earth, and we should build a team around him.
Well, I heard Craig say this on a show during the week, and he also said he said a phrase that I really didn't agree.
By the way, that was a bit of hyperbole from me. He didn't. Yeah, he didn't. But you kind of understood what.
One thing he did say, I'm still paraphrasing, but he still did say it. Was that Elliot Anderson is the midfielder that Michael Carrick attempted to be, or something along those lines.
Why do we do this?
Because this is what happens.
Why do we do it? It's one cap.
This is why the other nations.
One appearance.
This is why the other nations laugh at us, mate.
Yeah.
This is why. This is why the Spanish,
the French,
the
got a conveyor
Argentinians,
belt of Elliot Anderson.
They go look at them over there.
Yeah.
No, and that's not to take away from what Elliot Anderson's doing. It's been the same with Madueke.
Yeah.
I've had a few run-ins on. I'm opening my apps and I'm seeing. Tell you what, Madueke's director. I tell you what, Saka.
Oof, they're crazy.
Gonna have to watch out for what.
And look, Madueke looked good.
Yeah, and that's
he looked good. But you know, there are certain players for me that even when fit, they start for England.
Yes,
and like Saka's that.
Yes,
Palmer's not yet got down that place, but Palmer should be that.
He's on his way into
and Jude should most certainly be that for me.
Yeah, he should. He should.
There was that pause was felt like about 5 minutes. It was 2 seconds.
No, listen, I like Jude Bellingham a lot.
Come on, dude.
I like Jude Bellingham a lot. I like Jude Bellingham a lot.
What are we doing?
I just don't like typecasting him for the wrong role.
He's not number 10.
He's not a number 10.
He's not a number 10.
So if it's in the right, if
he's an 8.
Correct.
Yeah.
So as long as he's used in the right system, top player. But this trying to copy what Real Madrid did under Ancelotti for a year because it just worked for them. Gareth tried to do that.
My worry with England is he's an 8.
Yes.
Declan's an 8.
Yeah.
And Cole's a 10.
Yeah.
Is there enough to... Like, I know Declan can do the defensive...
Everyone wants to play now.
Yeah, everyone wants to play Elliot Anderson. They seem to change their mind about who they want to play.
And Tuchel plays a 4-1-4-1.
Wharton was the guy, wasn't he?
Yeah.
You've got to play Wharton. You've got to play Wharton. Yeah.
He's unreal as well.
If you are... We're getting ahead of ourselves, aren't we? But World Cup, semi-final, Brazil, who's the midfield 3?
It's hard though because you have to think of how the team's been playing to get to that point and the balance.
Oh,
you just say, well, if you just go names, you're going Rice, Bellingham, and one other.
Palmer.
Ideally, yes.
Yeah, Palmer, isn't it? Yeah.
That's for me what I'm trying to put up again. But we all know that football isn't played. That makes the most sense out of the names.
Doesn't work like that. And Thomas Tuchel doesn't care about the names.
I was just about to say that, Ade. I don't care, you know. Yeah. Like, I'm not in this camp of like, oh, he's got to play, he's got to do this, he's got to do that. There are a couple here and there, but like, I'm all about the balance of the team. If Elliot Anderson makes England tick,
then he plays.
Then you better just pick 2 other attacking midfielders then.
Agreed.
I don't care if Bellingham has to go on the bench.
If he can be that Carrick-like.
If Wharton provides that by the time we get there, if Gibbs White is smashing it by then and he's the best candidate to be that, if Eze starts doing a madness, but don't get me wrong, he'll probably play most of his time from the left at Arsenal, but, you know, Morgan Rogers, if he's flying, I don't care who it is. What we have now is a plethora of players to choose from.
And what we have is a manager who knows he's not there for the long term. And
he's just going to pick who's going to
pick who I pick. I don't care about...
You don't care about after this.
No. Is Trent's England career done under Thomas Tuchel at least?
It's not done.
It's not looking great.
It's severely under strain because here's the problem, right? There's 2 problems. The first problem is Trent's got to get back in over Dani Carvajal at Real Madrid first before we even talk about anything.
By the way, the captain.
The captain, yeah. Was he like 33, 34, 35?
And Madrid fans love him.
He is Madrid.
Yeah.
And as Xabi Alonso's in the first sort of 3 games, he's gone, yeah, you know that one. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the first problem, number one.
Carvajal's wife has said a word to Xabi's wife. Yeah. 1 second.
Yeah, I played with him. Yeah. Actually, I don't know if he did back then.
No, probably didn't.
But you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Problem number 2 is Reece James.
Yeah.
And the relationship he has with Thomas Tuchel.
Yeah.
And the fact that Reece James is just phenomenal.
By the way, yeah, I mean, even when both super fit, it's a toss-up.
When Reece James
can defend better,
he's the most complete right-back we have.
And he can go forward. He can't do what Trent does going forward, but he can go forward.
Set pieces, delivery, crosses, good on the ball. He's got it.
I think Trent's got a massive problem. And you know, sometimes we're out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
You know, if you're playing for Liverpool...
Real Madrid.
I know, but...
Jude's not out of sight, out of mind, is he? If you go and deliver, you're not out of sight.
Hey, Jude. It's Jude, isn't it, though?
Yeah, but you got to deliver. If you go in, that's what I'm saying. If you go to Real Madrid and deliver, you have Real Madrid, mate. Like, you go and it's fine.
Yeah.
So
I think he's got a massive problem.
He does have a problem. No, he doesn't need to hope he gets injured. But do you know what I mean? That's the only thing that could aid is if can Reece stay healthy for long enough. I would love to see it because I think. I'd
actually like to see
with the injuries he's had.
Yeah, I think Reece. I want to see Reece have a run.
Yeah, he needs it.
He was the closest to Kyle Walker in terms of just that recovery pace, everything. And look, he's a better right back than Trent because he can defend.
And he's a better right back than Trent because he can do it all.
Yeah, see how I've just turned on Trent. If Trent was playing for Liverpool, I would never have said that. I would never have said that.
He's given you the best time of your life as a Liverpool fan before, obviously, last year. Well, no, he was there last year. He's given you the best times of your lifetime as a Liverpool fan.
Yeah, but he's not a Liverpool player anymore. All right, let's get an update as to what's going on in the second T20. John Norman's watching England versus South Africa.
Well, it's been an extraordinary game so far. England going past 300. The first Test side to do so. 304 for 2 from their 20 overs. 142 not out from Phil Salt. So essentially, South Africa just need to go at England from ball 1. That's pretty much what they've done. Ada Markram, 22 from 9. And Ryan Reckleton is 4 not out with Luke Wood, who bowled really well in the first T20, being taken for 3 successive boundaries. But wow, it would be absolutely off the scale if South Africa were to push England even close tonight. So we'll see what happens. But they're underway at Old Trafford. 28 without loss. South Africa chasing 305.
Your old manager, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, is at the game.
He's having a little look.
At Portman Road.
Yeah, because Kieran McKenna's his boy.
Oh, they are, yeah.
Yeah.
You always feel
Well,
like every time
coaching
you see a manager who's just been sacked,
they're lurking.
somewhere, they're lurking to
This manager loses if I can get his job.
He's lurking, isn't he? Have a look.
Kieran McKenna's his boy. He was on his coaching staff at United as well.
Okay.
They're really good friends. He's just going to support his mate.
Okay,
Got some
that's
free time now.
Look at me. I always feel like I always think of the
trying
negative.
to paint
Always think of the negative. Look
Not
at
just
Ade.
someone going to support their friend. Good vibes, good energy.
He'll be in the
You should
championship.
try it sometime.
Guarantee you, we're going to replay this because he'll be in the championship managing someone in a few weeks. Up next, we're going to look ahead to Brentford versus Chelsea. Remember that game exclusively live on talkSPORT tomorrow at 8 o'clock.
Is Brentford 1, Aston Villa 0. Martinez saved, but Mutara stopped the rebound in.
The corner near side, taken by Enzo Fernandez. It's headed towards João Pedro, and he glances the ball past a stranded goalkeeper who was absolutely nowhere.
Yeah, Brentford versus Chelsea, 8 p.m. kickoff tomorrow, exclusively live on talkSPORT. Faye Carruthers alongside Joe Shannon and former England striker Dean Ashton. This is Thank Footballers Friday. Ade Oladipo and Flex, just gone 8:30 with you until 9 o'clock. I went early and said Brentford would get relegated.
Not just you.
Yeah, I think everyone did. I mean,
like,
you lose your manager after what, nearly a decade. You lose your 2 top goal scorers in Burmo and Visser. You lose your captain in Norgard, and in steps Keith Andrews with no managerial experience.
It feels like a recipe for...
Yeah, and I still think it will be. But look, this is a big opportunity for Brentford, because this is the Chelsea side that have, they've started the season okay, but the legs look tired just because of the Club World Cup. Key players are out. They have no out-and-out number 9. They got rid of Nicholas Jackson, which I think was a mistake. Liam Delap's injured. João Pedro, looks like they want to... It doesn't look like he's an out-and-out number 9 for me, and he's going to be knackered after playing for Brazil. There's a chance here, and Brentford might take it. They might. I haven't sold you, have I? I haven't sold you. Okay, no. They won't take it then.
Listen, it's not impossible. Mm. It's not. A lot of the time you write these stories in your head of how you think things are going to pan out. Yeah. This is football, right? We never get it 100%, nowhere near 100% spot on. I just think that at this beginning bit, though, Brentford are going to be a little bit of a team where they might surprise a few people at this stage, because nobody really knows about Keith Andrews and what he's about, and what his team looks like and stuff. So they could throw up a few surprises before the league starts to settle down. And listen, it's such a big monumental change at the G-Tech. Thomas Frank, with what he's done at that club to now, has just been incredible. So that's such a big miss. They've had a big change in goal, even though Kelleher's fantastic, but Flecken's gone. Norgard's gone. You look at
not just Norgard gone, captain's
gone, Visser's gone. So there's a lot, and Bumo's gone. Yeah, so it's a lot. It's a new look Brentford, but Brentford also have been here before. This is how they...
But they've been here before under Thomas Frank. There's been another goal in the WSL between West Ham and Arsenal. Which way has it gone, the Moose?
Gone to Arsenal. West Ham 1, Arsenal 2, just 7 minutes into the second half. And Stina Blackstenius, who came on at half-time for Frida Manham, who scored in the first, has got the goal. Right-hand side of the penalty here, onto her left foot, and she's bent it beautifully beyond Megan Walsh into the far corner of the net. The Gunners hit the front here. West Ham 1, Arsenal 2.
Yeah, I did say it was inevitable, wasn't it? As soon as Arsenal got 1, you look at this Arsenal team that you feel like they can get 2, 3 and 4.
Knew it was coming.
As we just mentioned just before going to the Moose there, if all these changes happen, so losing Norgard, losing Mbermo, losing Visser, but Thomas Frank was in the dugout, I'll say they've still got enough.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's why we're going to be looking at Brentford like, it's going to be tough for them. This could be the one where they go. And that's why I think Chelsea will get this done. Yeah. I think they've still got... They haven't looked amazing. Like you say, you're thinking post-Club World Cup, is fatigue starting to set in. Also, some of the decisions they've made in the transfer window, I don't understand. I don't understand how they've even managed to find themselves still short in certain departments.
How you don't have a goalkeeper and another centre-back and a forward, considering you knew what was happening.
And you let Nicholas Jackson go. It doesn't make any sense.
I know he didn't play the best for them, but you let him go as well. He's a striker,
without adequate replacements. They let Spurs go and get Xavi Simons, or looked like he was all but going to go to Chelsea. Looked like they had personal terms agreed. Spurs come in and get him. So there's some question marks over their summer, but they're still a good team, Chelsea, of course.
Yeah, they're a team that I think will probably finish in the top 3. Definitely, I think, in the top 4. All right, let's hear from a Brentford point of view. This is a Brentford defender, Keane Lewis Potter. He's been speaking exclusively to talkSPORT about the start to the season.
I think the Forest game is hard. You'd probably look at the second half more than the first. First half was not good enough at all. We know that. But yeah, obviously second half we scored a goal, and then moving on to the Villa game, I feel like that game, to be able to win 1-0 against them, the team they have, it was a proper team performance what we put in, a really good defensive display, and even moving on to Sunderland, I feel like we felt controlled in the game, we felt good, and again we scored a very good goal. It was just switching off in the end and losing the game. Obviously it could have been completely different. We obviously got a penalty which we missed, but that's football, what happens, and we've got to move on from that.
I feel like he's going to be a busy boy this season. You can hear more from that exclusive interview. Yeah, same, in the build-up to tomorrow's game on talkSPORT from 7:30 p.m. Normally the teams that come up are the ones that you think, okay, will definitely go down. So even if a Premier League side is bad, you think, well, the teams that are coming up are so bad, But you look at what Sunderland have done in the transfer window. Look at what Leeds have done. Scott Parker, I think, is really going to have a go this time round for Burnley. And that's why I feel like Brentford could be in trouble. It isn't just the fact that they've lost all those players. It's because the 3 teams that are coming up are big teams.
Yeah, and they look like the bunch out of the established Premier League teams that could be got at alongside Wolves. Alongside West Ham. Even though West Ham went and done what they did at Forest.
Yeah.
If you're the 3 coming up, you're going, we're
going to get one of those.
Yeah. Well, we've got to drag one of them in. And Sunderland have done some great business and have started the season really well.
Yeah.
To be honest, look, it's a long old season. I think it is probably too early though to start saying this thing will definitely happen or that thing will. We need a bigger sample size. Yeah. But the feeling is, Brentford already lost 2 games, and the way they lost against Sunderland, like Keeneland's Potter's right there. Like they had the chance, I think, to go 2 up, missed the pen, and then they just took their eye off the ball, and then bang, bang, game was just gone. Absolute scenes in a stadium of light, which they'll probably do. That's quite a few teams. That's going to be tough to go there, but they were playing quite well in that game for large periods. So there is something there.
That's the issue, though. They're playing quite well, but they've lost their 2 best attackers,
and they can't get it over the line. And it feels like
they've lost 40 goals from last season. I don't care who you are. I mean, me and Rory were speaking about this, I think, last week. Any team loses their captain and their 2 best goal scorers, good luck.
They lost 40 goals. Man United only scored 44 all of last season.
There you go. Do you know what I mean?
Which is nothing that, that's not.
No.
But that's how much.
That's how much a team like Brentford just had sort of the hole ripped out of them.
It's too much of a big hole to fill.
Of course. As for Chelsea, I said top 3, top 4. What's success for Chelsea this season?
Getting back in the Champions League again, of course, as a minimum. Success for them again is, silverware.
League position.
I think if they can,
should they not be competing with Liverpool and Arsenal?
I would like to say yes, because when they're actually at it, they probably look like they could be the 3rd best team in the league. But then when you take a step back and you look at the business, and they've still got a lot of youngsters in there.
The goalkeeper.
They didn't. I thought that they would address the goalkeeper, go and get someone like Mark Gahey or maybe a Gerald Quansah, or I don't know.
How that Mike
go and
Mannion
get someone.
Fell off.
Mike Mannion, they didn't show enough intent. Put a rubbish bid in of like 15 million or something silly like that.
For the French international
goal. You know what I mean? So that shows you're not really serious. It shows you're trying to hoodwink the fans into maybe thinking, oh, we tried.
Yeah.
You get Garnacho in, you get Gittins, doesn't make sense really. Didn't get Xavi Simons. Esteval looks fantastic. I'm not, Delap.
I ain't gonna lie, I think their midfield's now working.
The midfield's clicking.
Caicedo, Lavia, when it comes together, it's quite formidable.
Palmer when he gets in there. So I think they can hit form and really cause some trouble this season. I've got bright hopes for Chelsea, but I just think without changing the goalkeeper, without investing into the centre halves, they're not going to be able to mount a serious title challenge with Liverpool and Arsenal.
Indeed. Oh, you said City there. You let slip. You said City.
Well, I did say that should be their aim.
Yeah, no, just admit it. You think City are going to do something. All right, let's get an update as to what's going on in the cricket. John Norman watching second T20, England versus South Africa.
Well, as expected, South Africa are struggling. The target is a ridiculous one. Every time I say it, I have to kind of blink and wonder whether I've got this right. 305 after Phil Salt's hit 142 not out. Joss Buttler 83. England going past 300 in a T20. Rickleton the first to go. 2 wickets and 3 legal deliveries from Jofra Archer for 20. Pretorius for 2, and Brevis has just gone Sam Curran's first over in the game as well. So surely England are going to level the series with 1 to play, needing 305 to win. 5 overs in, South Africa 60 for 3.
Cheers, John. Thank you very much. Right, just coming up to 9 o'clock. I love this segment that we're going to do next. It's time, when we come back anyway, for Too Good, Too Bad. Good evening, Fame Footballers. Friday, Ade Oladipo alongside Flex. There has been another goal. It's like buses, London buses. There's one, then there's several. The Moose is watching the game in the WSL. It's West Ham versus Arsenal. Which way has it gone?
Gone to Arsenal. West Ham 1, Arsenal 3 now. Caitlin Ford has surely put this game to bed. Arsenal actually wanted at one stage a penalty. Ball was played out though for a corner, and when the corner came in, Caitlin Ford was the one who rose highest to head beyond the West Ham goalkeeper and put it into the back of there for 3-1. Other game, Manchester City have equalised up in the northwest against Brighton. Frank Kirby put Brighton ahead, but Buddy Shaw has equalised for City. Here though, it looks like it's game, set and match. West Ham 1, Arsenal 3. We're just over the hour mark.
Yeah, that could get to 5 and 6s. I'll tell you now, Arsenal very, very good when they're front runners. All right, enough of that. It's now time for this.
Too good? Todd Bowley has become our sporting director. The man's never worked in European football before. So the fact that he's now in charge of this recruitment drive fills me a little bit with fear. Too bad. Going out and signing with Charlison, it's huge, isn't it? He will certainly score goals for them.
Yeah, this is Too Good, Too Bad, where me and Flex take it in turns to pick one player we're looking forward to see playing this weekend and one who desperately already 3 games into the season needs a performance. Flex, let's start on the lighter side of things. Who are you looking forward to see him play this weekend?
Well, it's not player. It's got to be Ange Postecoglou. I can't wait to see him in the dugout at the Emirates. First game happens to be there. The story's there. All of the commotion about, how's this football going to look? Does he go after Arsenal?
Crazy.
Could Arsenal be stunned? What does this look like?
No, you're right. I'm excited about this as well. Normally, I'm like, it should be a player, but I'll let you off it.
Are we going to see Ndoye bombing on Lewis Skelly or Calafiori? Are we going to see Hudson Odoi keeping Timber pinned back in? Are we going to see Chris Wood running around?
Bully Mascara. Anything could happen here.
Gibbs White running around, Elliot Anderson, but busy. What are we going to see? Or are we going to see him go, listen, I've just been here for a couple of days. Let's ease our way into it. I'm fascinated. 12:30 tomorrow. I can't wait for that game.
You know, that's a really good one.
Can't wait to see Ange.
That's a good one. Who you got? It's the most obvious one of all time, but I'm sorry.
Is he even going to play? Is he even going to get minutes?
Even if he gets
even fit, he's been on strike.
No, I just want to see him on the bench. I don't care about playing.
See a little training video.
No, I just want to see him come on the bench. And Burnley will be happy if he doesn't play, but obviously...
Who are you talking about?
Alexander Isak. I'm still just shocked that he's a Liverpool player.
Makes
and
me
the
sick.
saga that was the story of the transfer summer. But look, I think he'll get 10 minutes. I think he'll get 10.
Nah, he get a little bit more than that.
He'll be more than that, you think? 20? If he gets 20.
Yeah, I think he'll get about 20.
Imagine you're a Burnley defender. You've had to deal with Ekitike. It's kind of built in the same way as Isak, actually.
Yeah, long.
And then all of a sudden, you're like, oh, thank God. Then Isak starts to warm up.
It's rude.
So,
It's nasty work.
It's cheeky.
Nasty work.
It's cheeky, but looking forward to seeing him. Obviously, Liverpool take on Burnley on Sunday. All right, who needs a performance?
Speaking of Liverpool taking on Burnley, we're going to stay with your club.
Go on.
Because your boy, Florian, Flo, Yeah, he needs a performance.
He doesn't. Stop.
What do you mean he doesn't?
For 100 don't do this.
And actually,
don't do this, Flex.
Hopefully you can enlighten me, because I don't want to annoy the Liverpool fans who say, "Oh, that's not what it costs." Stop saying 150 million. How much did it cost?
By the way, where have you got this 150 million?
Sorry,
it's 100 million and 16 million in add-ons.
Right.
But all of a sudden, you've added like 35 to the tag.
I just saw pound signs, just added on a few more. Sorry. So how much is it? 116 million.
116.
That's how much he costs.
A huge amount of money.
Okay, so let's bring it down to 116. Is that comfortable? Right. So for 116 million, I need to see a performance. Is that too much to ask from the 116 million pound signing?
But if you have watched the games, and
I have. I've watched every single one. Hoping you lose.
Highlights.
No, I've watched every single game.
Then you'll know that he's actually played well.
No, Newcastle he didn't.
Yeah, Newcastle
he got bullied, mate. It sounded like
Newcastle was like, "Welcome to the Premier League."
Against Arsenal, did all right. Got one shot on time.
Right. Yeah, did all right.
That's what I'm saying.
He needs a bit more.
Did all right. He's 116 million.
Come on, Flex. It's 3 games.
Mate, you asked me who I think needs.
He's just moved to the country.
I'm not saying he's rubbish. I'm just saying he needs a big performance. It's fine.
He needs a performance. Yeah. Go on, ask me who I think.
I don't want to. In fact, I don't want to know who you think.
I'll tell you anyway.
Go on.
I know our listeners are desperate to know.
Yeah.
Benjamin Šeško.
He needs a big performance.
Šeško.
Well, he needs to start first.
Yeah, no.
The manager
doesn't trust him. He'll like bring on Xerxes, wouldn't he? But no, any player, and this is not digging at Xerxes, right? Because any new signing, we saw it with Gyökeres, we saw it with Ekitike, you just want that first goal, don't you?
Yeah.
You just want to, you know what I mean? Like the pressure on Gyökeres to get it was like immense, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I think if you're Šeško, and you cost a lot of money, it's not his fault. He doesn't demand the price tag, but you just need to get one. Because people start talking, like fans nowadays don't give you the chance.
They don't, and I do think it is, all jokes aside, because we all do it. Yeah. We all do it to everybody's respective clubs because it's funny. But in essence, like players do need time to settle.
Especially players that are coming from another country.
What I mean? They really, really do. And I'll be honest, like I was perplexed as why he's not starting. Get rid of Rasmus, get this guy 75 minutes. Yeah, that's our answer. We think that as fans, get him in.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not starting against Arsenal. Like, all right. He's not starting against Fulham. All right. Okay, he starts against Grimsby. Then it's like, he's not starting against Burnley. Where is it? What's going on? Burnley was the game actually where he played the longest, and I did look at him up close that time because I went to that game.
Looked a bit heavy.
I was like,
looked a bit leggy.
Needs a bit of time. Could tell he needs a bit of time, and that's okay.
You know when you say that though, but look, we've been watching football for years, right? Even when a player isn't sharp, you can just see something, a touch, a turn. And you're like, all right, when they get fit. Yeah. Did you see anything from Šeško? You're like,
well, no, here's the problem. It feels like our team have played so long without a focal point, they don't even know he's there. He's not even getting involved. He's hardly having any touches. So it's going to take some time. One thing as well that I think hasn't been spoken about enough is these players that have sort of been on strike or taken time out, haven't had good pre-seasons or, chaotic summers. Gyökeres is taking a little. Like he scored a couple of goals against Leeds, but in the bigger games, he looks a bit off it.
Jack Grealish looks sharp,
but and Jack Grealish doesn't have that. Yeah, exactly. He's got himself.
Don't you dare find an excuse. I'm trying to find an excuse for Šeško.
No. I'm talking about Isak. I'm talking about Šeško. I'm talking about Gyökeres. I'm talking Vissa. Yeah. I'm talking about players that just have. It'd be interesting to see how long it takes these guys who kind of be versus like you say, Jack Grealish. He's just got in there straight away. But he's accustomed to the league. He's been here for a very long time.
The scary thing about
Gyökeres hasn't.
Gyökeres and Šeško, and I guess I had this fear about Ekitike. Premier League's a different beast, you know.
It is.
I know people don't like when we say that, but it really is. The pace of the Premier League is frightening.
It is.
It really is. So as much as Šeško and Gyökeres, absolutely destroyed their respective leagues, it's not that easy.
It's not that
easy.
You're not going to get the same respect off of the centre-backs that you get in those other leagues. And we've seen it in the first few opening exchanges. Matthijs de Ligt did not respect Gyökeres one bit. He was on him in his pocket.
Gyökeres would have never, ever, maybe international, but it would never, ever come up against anything like Van Dijk or Konate.
No.
Like he did. Like, what's this? Because he normally bullies defenders. All of a sudden, he's getting bullied.
Yeah, and when he played against Saliba and Gabriel when Sporting, and he didn't get a sniff then as well because Arsenal beat them like, 5, something like that.
Yeah.
So,
All right, anyway. Second half of Ipswich against Sheffield United is about to get underway. Remember, Ipswich currently leading that one 1-0. You can listen to that game on talkSPORT 2. But up next, we're going to look ahead to the other Premier League games this weekend.
What do you get when some of the most individual sports stars club together? Well, a melting pot of history, tension, rivalry, friendship and elite stories. Here are some of the best off-camera anecdotes from the Ryder Cup. Number 1, Tigers' loo roll. The protagonist, Lee Westwood's former caddy, Billy Foster, sat in a toilet cubicle at the Belfry. As he went to relieve his first morning nerves, Foster noticed only one of the 2 cubicles had loo roll, and while he was seated, in came a tiger into the empty cubicle, and he realised his mistake all too late. So Foster took some paper, reached under the cubicle with a rescue offering, and as Tiger went to take it, Foster uttered the words, "Europe, 1 up." As it happened, Europe did go on to win. Fast forward 10 years to the miraculous Medina, when, after a gruelling Saturday, Rory McIlroy overslept on the Sunday and was in danger of missing his tee time. Thankfully for him, the person booking player transport was Erica Stoll. She sorted him a police escort to the course. 3 years later, McIlroy proposed in Paris. The next story is told by Scottish legend Sam Torrance about the great Seve, who apparently despised the Americans mainly because of a diminutive US reporter who kept calling him Steve.
Hey, my name is Severiano or Seve. It's no Steve, it's no Steve. Next day, Steve.
Torrance also tells of how Seve regularly gave coaching clinics to his European teammates, but a week later at the Italian Open, when the same players asked for advice, Seve would tell them to and see you next year. Having started with a Billy Foster story, let's finish with one from the 12th tee at Oakland Hills in 2004. It was Jimenez and Garcia against Westwood and Clark in a practice round, and as they finished, Foster decided to jump in the buggy and speed away with all their clubs, only to lose control entirely and tumble onto the course and see it careering towards the spectators. Thankfully, the Red Sea parted and the buggy smashed into a tree, with viewers and clubs still intact.
given away to Isak. There's his goal. Alexander Isak, and Isak curls one in from the edge of the box.
It's a massive signing for Liverpool in regards of he's a top-class striker. He's going to bang in some goals, and it's a hell of a statement from Liverpool.
Good evening, Fame Footballers. Friday, Ade Oladipo and Flex. It's been a great show.
It's been great.
It's been a great. I mean, I probably shouldn't be saying that. People should be texting in saying that, to be honest. But I'll say it.
Now, sometimes it's that good. You got to say
it's that good. You got to say it, haven't you? You got to say it. We're going to talk a bit of Championship later. Looks like there could be a change to the structure of the playoff system, which some fans are happy about. Some are like, it's a disgrace. So it'll be interesting to hear what you guys have to say as well. Remember, text us 810 809. I'll read out some of the best tweets and texts. All right, let's talk Burnley versus Liverpool. We're going to sort of do a quick round the houses of all the Premier League games in the weekend. Obviously, a lot of the talk has been about what Liverpool have done in the transfer window, and Wirtz has got to come good, as you said. Isak, Kirkez, is Szoboszlai going to play at right back? Burnley at Turf Moor is not the easiest game in the world.
It's not.
It's not the easiest. I mean, obviously, look, last season they didn't concede any goals, did they, in the Championship? Obviously, Premier League's a different beast, but Scott Parker's got them rigid at the back. It's just going forward. Do they have enough to get past what is a good Liverpool defence as well?
I don't know. Obviously, I just had a good look at them just before going to the death for a penalty.
Yeah.
They can be got at. They can be got at. The midfield three, though, like, they're quite combative. Look at Okuchukwu and Josh Cullen and Hannibal Mejbri. Like, they've got a bit of bite in there. And in the wide areas, they've got a few willing runners as well, and you've got Jay Knightley up front. But I don't know. I don't believe
ultimately, Liverpool should be going to Turf
It
Moor.
should be a comfortable afternoon.
Evening. You say all that.
Afternoon.
It's still 90% of the squad's Championship players.
Exactly.
And
so there should
broken.
And I was just about to say that there shouldn't be any excuses, should there?
Yeah.
Because
But
you've
that's
got
not how football works.
Well, when you're the Premier League champions and you've spent that much money, that's how it should work.
Where do you think Florian Wirtz's best position is? And when you watch
it, it's just off the front.
It is. Is it?
Yeah.
It isn't off the left.
No, I think like a 10, just off floating. If there is 2 8s, okay, he can be a left 8 or a right 8 or left 10, right 10. Just kind of that. He does need to be able to roam. Because he's such a fantastic footballer. Like, all jokes aside, he is a brilliant footballer. I got high hopes for him. I think he could be really exciting in this.
He can be that extra bit of magic when Liverpool struggle to break teams down. Like Burnley might be sitting on their own sort of 6-yard box, and Liverpool do need to break them down, and he's the type of player that could do something, which they don't really have in Szoboszlai, McAllister or Gravenberch.
Exactly. He can be the one to unlock the doors when they're sort of been slammed shut and bolted shut. So as much as I say he needs a performance, it's because actually I know he's a very good player. There is going to be an adaptation. But along with the other players that Liverpool got, I think he can be fantastic. So I'm looking forward to seeing him develop, really.
I don't expect Isak to get many minutes, but it would be interesting to see him get some against.
How do you think Ekitike's feeling, and what happens with Ekitike then? How does this work as a Liverpool fan? What are you trying to see? You just have 2 top strikers and 1 for 1, or Ekitike? Do you start on the bench and have a look at Ekitike on the left?
Maybe.
What do you see?
I look at United in their POM, and I remember when it was Berbatov, Rooney, Tevez, and Ronaldo.
Yeah,
look at that. So everyone's
York,
screaming.
Cole,
Exactly.
Sheringham,
everyone's screaming.
Solskjaer.
Ekitike. Well, you've got to have more than one.
Yeah,
you've got to have more than one. You want to frighten the hell out of defenders when they look at the bench and think, oh, well, here we go.
Can Klopp? How difficult is that for? Keep saying Klopp. How difficult is it for Slot to manage now these
what
big
a great
characters?
Problem he has. What a great problem he has.
Until it's not.
Until it's not a great problem, and then we'll see. Right, we'll see. But
right
if it's Ekitike, you are going to be a bit upset because all of a sudden you've started your Liverpool career fantastically well, maybe better than we expected. I think that's the problem. He's actually done a bit better than we expected, and now it looks like Isak.
As soon as Isak gets up to speed, he goes straight in
immediately.
He has to. He must.
But I actually think Ekitike can come on the left.
I think so,
and that's then an issue of Gakpo. But
or depending on, again, there's a lot of different things you could do. You can play Ekitike sometimes, like where he played with Marmoush, like so he can play just off as well.
He can play just off.
So there's options.
Salah's going to go away for the African Cup of Nations.
Exactly.
Wirtz will then probably go to the right.
Listen, mate, if you've got Szoboszlai playing right back,
Ekitike probably go and goal. He's 6'4". He can probably go and goal. West Ham versus Tottenham. It's the first West Ham game since their fan
advisory
board
game. This
It should have vote of no confidence towards the club's board. I don't know what that actually means or what's going to happen.
Yeah, but they're not going to listen. They're not going to go, the club's done that, so let's sack.
Yeah, let's get rid of Graham Potter, and we're all going to sort of vacate our positions as well.
But it's making their feelings heard.
West Ham, obviously, look, they got the great result against Forest, and Lucas Paquetá kissed his badge. I'm staying.
Put an Instagram statement out since then.
Yeah, has he?
Yeah. Saying it's the ones who were loyal to you. It's the people that were there for you, not when everything was going good. But and then he went, let's do this for one more season.
Oh,
so he put the one in there.
There you go.
I was like, all right.
And let's be honest,
but fair play,
no smoke without fire. He was close to going to Villa.
Yeah.
Let's stop pretending he was
but
always...
he's done the right thing. You should not be leaving after West
Dude,
Ham.
I think he's a fantastic player as well.
Yeah.
Every time he plays against Liverpool, not to bring this back to Liverpool, he's better than all our midfielders. He destroys us. And I'm like, why is he not playing for us? Like, why is he not playing
Very nearly went to City. It was all on the cards,
If it wasn't for those issues, then he probably would have gone. But look, I still think they're going to struggle under Graham Potter. I just don't think the football's exciting. They've lost Mohamed Kudus, who now will be playing against them. If they didn't have Jared Bowen and Paquetá, 2 match winners, I'd say they'd really be in trouble. They're lucky they've got 2 genuine...
Yeah, I don't think they'll get relegated.
Nah, they've got 2 really... I'm about to say world-class, not world-class, but 2 very, very good players.
Very good Premier League players, yeah. This is a weird game to call, though, because by rights you look at it and go... I'm not going to get hoodwinked by that performance at Forest. I know the real West Ham at the minute. They're struggling. I think Spurs go and destroy them. But, Spurs got a bit of a wake-up call, and that performance against Bournemouth wasn't just, Bournemouth got a smash and grab and, Spurs were bashing down the door and couldn't get through it. They were poor. I don't think they had their first shot on target till like the 70-odd minute or late in the second half. So, They got a first taste of reality of needing a wake-up call under Thomas Frank. Obviously, everything's really great. He's adapted the team in the first couple of games. Amazing up at City. And then the Spursy thing kicks in of go and beat City 1 week away, lose at home to Bournemouth the next week. So they have to rectify that. But West Ham is a weird place because, I don't know, the fans will get like, they don't like Tottenham. This is a London derby.
This is a naughty.
And this could be where Graham Potter could get hold of this team and say, right, you know what? Our season starts now. We just had a fantastic result that everybody thought it would be the reverse result, and I'd get sacked.
Probably international break at exactly the right time.
Yeah,
to have a look at other
have a look at other players. I still don't think they've done enough in the window. Nowhere near.
Yeah,
but.
That's because they have no confidence in Graham Potter.
Yeah, so it doesn't paint a happy... And easily it could just go back to normal and Spurs go...
You know who I think could be a good signing for them? Callum Wilson. If he stays fit. I know it's always the if, isn't it? He's on this kind of pay-as-you-play thing, isn't he? So he's got that motivation to stay fit as much as he can. He'll get you goals, He will. He's a very good striker when he's fit. And West Ham, Arts Mikel Antonio, they've been trying to find a striker to push him out. Yeah, exactly. It hasn't worked, and it always goes back to Mikel Antonio. West Ham cannot find a number 9.
They just can't do it. They've just got such a bad track record in recent years of nailing one down and saying, right, this is the guy who can take us forward. This is the dependable goal scorer. But I'm looking forward to this game. I think there's
score
something
prediction
in it.
Very quickly.
I'm going to go...
What is this your version of very?
I'm going to go 2-1 West Ham.
Okay, 2-1 West Ham.
Yeah.
There's been another goal, by the way, in that game between Ipswich and Sheffield United over on talkSPORT 2, and it's that man Jaden Philogene who's scored again. The league's too easy for him. Honestly, he'll be like, "Get me out of it. It's too easy, this one." All right, Newcastle versus Wolves. Obviously, a Newcastle team that have now. I mean, I almost feel sorry for how it played out with Newcastle and Alexander Isak. Johan Visser's come in, and he's injured.
Yeah.
Obviously got injured playing for DR Congo, and he probably played too many minutes considering he didn't have a pre-season and obviously went on strike as well. I like Newcastle. I love what Eddie Howe's done up there. I think the team is fantastic, and I think Wolves are banging trouble.
They're a really likeable bunch of players, and Wolves are banging trouble because now I know it's not nice. It's a big disappointment to have Visser injured after all of that, but in terms of Eddie Howe's position on it, I think now is the time he can go, right, the window's closed.
Yeah.
We can put that behind us. We now know what we're working with. The Alexander Isak situation is done and dealt with. Voltemada, you're our guy now. We can settle down and we can start our season. This is a big week. They're playing Barcelona midweek. But this is a big week, and I think this is how they get their...
I like Newcastle. You like Newcastle. I think everyone seems to like Newcastle just because of Eddie Howe. Yeah. Newcastle can't buy a win right now,
They can't, but they've played well.
When was the last time Newcastle actually won a game?
Yeah,
football?
They
didn't win. They didn't win any pre-season games.
No, they didn't.
None. They haven't won a game this season. So,
but context is key. I think they have played quite well. Yeah. Considering what's been going on against Villa in the first game, they played well. I think that the second game,
Liverpool,
look what happened with 10 men as well. So unlucky.
Oh my God. Yeah, and then all the injuries they picked up
exactly.
in that game.
Let themselves down a little bit. 0-0 against Leeds away is not the best, but tough place to go.
Yeah.
And they're still without that strength. Ironically, against Liverpool in that first sort of 35 minutes, before the Anthony Gordon red card, it was like when Anthony Elanga was going past Kirkers like he weren't there crossing the ball. I'm like, they just need a striker.
You remember Anthony Gordon had that headed chance, didn't he? He had a headed chance.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, if that was anyone else that's a proper striker, that's
exactly. There was one where he was stretching for it. They just need a striker. Ironically, so I think now that that's behind them, they'll settle down. There's a big week for the two, and they'll get it done.
By the way, another goal in the game between Ipswich and Sheffield United.
Wrong for Sheffield
and I thought this would be a tough game, but 3-0. Hurst had just scored 3-0 to Ipswich. Yeah, they're going to do well in that league, aren't they? All right, final one very quickly. Everton versus Aston Villa. Obviously, Everton under Grealish has decided to come and play some football. I thought they would struggle moving into a new stadium. They still might, because it's completely different to Goodison Park, isn't it? But this is an interesting game as well.
I've got Everton for this.
Have you?
Yeah. Villa up, mate. They ain't scored a goal.
I know, dude.
They ain't scored a goal, mate. Right?
Like
Villa are struggling, and they also they've had a bad window. I mean, it's not very inspiring on the last day of the window. You bring in Victor Lindelof, Jadon Sancho.
How's Victor Lindelof getting a move to Villa?
Well, he's a free agent.
How's Victor Lindelof getting a move to Villa?
He's there for backup, mate.
How's Victor Lindelof getting a move to Villa?
No, do you know what? No, hear me out on this.
Go on.
As a backup, like fourth, because you got Mings, you got Konsa, you got Pau Torres.
Yeah.
Like, he won't play a lot.
Yeah.
But when you actually need someone to step
Premier
in,
League proven,
he's a good trainer, he's good to have about the place. Yeah. He'll actually be okay if you need to play him.
I'm fascinated to see where Unai Emery plays Harvey Elliott.
Yeah.
Because Harvey Elliott...
On the right.
Yeah. He really wants to be a 10.
Yeah.
He really wants to be a 10. He's quite intricate like that.
Got Morgan Rogers there, mate.
Yeah, this is the issue.
That can't happen.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I don't know if he has enough pace to be on the right. Everyone says that, right? Because when Salah doesn't play, he sometimes gets a couple of minutes, which is very rare because Salah always plays.
It depends.
I don't know if he has the pace.
Well, sometimes McGinn spends time out there. Sometimes Rogers on the left and Tielemans is in the 10, and you might have Onana and Kamara in there. They do change quite a lot. Sometimes they play with inside 10s. Look, with Jadon Sancho, he's got to make something of himself now.
Yeah.
Like, he's just been so poor for the last couple of years. It's been really, really bad for him. And Everton, let's just talk about them. Mate, at Hill Dickinson Stadium, crowds up, Jack Grealish.
I hate that name.
I know, but I saw a memo going around from Everton that it must be called that.
Okay, apologies.
Not the Hill Dickinson or...
Yeah, the Hill Dickinson Stadium.
Yeah, it's got to be... Yeah, so I'm just respecting.
I'll try and get it.
Yeah. Jack Grealish playing his football again, loving his football again. Dewsbury Hall looks good. James Garner's stepped up.
Yeah.
Like, they're looking all right.
If you can keep Braithwaite injured. If you can keep him fit alongside Tarkowski, Pickford, who I'm not the biggest fan of, but he's a very good goalkeeper. I mean, there's something there, isn't there? Yeah, they'll finish 16th. All right, there's been another goal in the game in the WSL. West Ham versus Arsenal. 4-1, or have West Ham got one back?
West Ham 1, Arsenal 4. Just when you thought, a bit like England's cricketers at Arsenal had declared, Alessia Russo smashed one in to the top left-hand corner of that, just from the edge of the penalty area. Been quite a bit second half, actually, Russo, in terms of actual shots on target, but she's absolutely leathered this one in. Olivia Smith has just gone down, so there's going to be a penalty for Arsenal as well. It's going to get really messy now for West Ham. Smith, of course, the first £1 million footballer in terms of the WSL, and it wasn't a very good challenge on her either. I don't know if you want to stay, Ade, for this penalty, as Arsenal try and make it 5-1. By the way, 6 added minutes to be played in this injury time. Don't really see why. West Ham were never getting back into it. Come back to me in a minute. West Ham 1, Arsenal 4.
All right, let's get an update as to what's going on in the cricket. Remember, the second T20, England versus South Africa. John Norman.
South Africa 117 for 6. England will win this match, and possibly by a record score as well. They did that in the ODIs. That was a dead rubber though. This one keeps the series very much alive. 143 not out. Phil Salt, his third T20 century, and the best by far, coming from just 60 deliveries. Joss Butler as well, should mention him, 83 from him. England 304 for 2, the first time a test playing nation has ever scored more than 300 in a T20. South Africa had to come out and go for their shots. They've done so, but they've perished along the way. 3 wickets are going the way of Jofra Archer, 2 to Sam Curran, 1 to Adil Rashid, and South Africa miles off. They require 187 from 45 deliveries. They're 118 for 6.
All right, let's go back to Moose for that penalty. Moose.
1-2 for Alessia Russo. West Ham 1, Arsenal 5. First smashed into the top corner, second a penalty after Olivia Smith was brought down. 3 more added minutes to go. West Ham 1, Arsenal 5.
By the way, with Sheffield United at the moment, obviously, look, losing to Ipswich. We'll talk about after, but sacking Chris Wilder looks like the biggest mistake they've ever made. All right, up next, we're going to be looking at the other Premier League games this weekend. Jaden Philogene has just scored again. Hat-trick, 4-0 Ipswich. Oh boy, not a good result for Ruben Celis, is it? All right, it's full time in the game the Moose was watching for us. West Ham versus Arsenal. What did it end?
It ended up West Ham 1, Arsenal 5. A bizarre own goal from the Arsenal goalkeeper Van Domselaar put West Ham in front of 5 minutes. But that was about as good as it got, I'm afraid, for the Hammers, who were pegged back on the 21-minute mark with Freedom Manham equalised. That was the score at half-time. Stinier Blackstenius on as a substitute with a cool finish. Made it 2-1 7 minutes into the second half. 3-1 when Caitlin Ford headed home 10 minutes later from a corner. And then Alessia Russo stole the show right at the end in the 90th minute, smashing into the top corner there, and 3 minutes later converting a penalty after Olivia Smith had been brought down. West Ham then well beaten here. They were beaten on the opening weekend as well at Spurs. That's 2 played and 2 lost for West Ham. In the other game of the night, Manchester City came from behind to beat Brighton 2-1. Hegasawa got the winning goal there after Fran Kirby's opener had been cancelled out by Bunny Shaw. But here it was all about Arsenal, who got the job done in the end and in emphatic style. Finished West Ham 1, Arsenal 5.
I referenced that Jaden Philogene hat-trick. Remember, you can listen to that game right now over on talkSPORT 2. It currently, as I said, is Ipswich 4, Sheffield United 0. Sheffield United have played 5 times this season. This is the 5th game. It looks like they're on their way to losing 5 times. They've only scored once, and they've conceded 9. Good luck, Ruben Sellers, keeping your job. All right, Crystal Palace versus Sunderland. Saturday, 3 o'clock kickoff. Oliver Glasner still there. Yep. Just still there. Obviously, Mark Gahey's still there. Just. Very just as well. How difficult... Look, I think his attitude's been fantastic throughout all this sort of transfer drama, but how difficult for him would that have been? A dream move to Liverpool. He still might get it, but look, anything can happen. Injuries, managerial changes. How difficult mentally for Gahey, do you think?
Yeah, do you know what? Because he's so strong mentally.
Yeah, he seems like that, didn't he?
I actually think he'll be fine. Like, he loves Palace. He's a fantastic pro, top captain. We're not going to see any...
No one's going to throw toys at the pram, no?
And we're not... No, and we're not going to see... Oh, it looks a bit off it. Maybe that moves in his head.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay.
He's too classy. He's too good a player. For me, on a personal, behind the scenes with his family and with his own ambitions. Absolutely. It's not going to be great. But you saw, even in the interview that he gave, which was the last game where he scored against Villa, where it seemed like that would be his last game, the interview he gave was amazing, I think. Like, the way
I think even in the England game recently, when he was with Noni Madueke, I think even then he looked like, someone that could say something but kept it professional.
He just keeps it professional all the time. So, they do say sometimes, isn't it, nice guys finish last. And, the guys that have agitated for moves and chucked their toys out the pram and gone on strike and done things potentially the wrong way, excusing Eze, didn't got their moves. And someone like Mark Gahey, who, was subject to like 4 bids last year from season before from Newcastle United, all turned down, stayed, won them the club the first trophy in their history, stayed even a bit longer, played in the Community Shield, won that. Then goes right up to a deadline day and doesn't get his move. So it's not going to be too hard for him mentally, though, because he's really robust.
Yeah. Crystal Palace versus Sunderland. Go on, score prediction?
I got Crystal Palace for that, 2-0.
Yeah, I think Mateta will score. I'm surprised he's still at the club. Bournemouth versus Brighton. Interesting game.
Call this.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, Brighton off the back of a really good win.
Yeah.
Against
a Bournemouth side who literally had their side gutted.
And
the whole defence was taken.
Yeah.
Goalkeeper as well. Literally everyone gone.
Everyone. And
incredible.
Big clubs as well. And it's amazing what Iriola's managed to do to keep them competitive. And
I think he was... If it wasn't for the way the season ended, I think he'll be Spurs manager right now. I think because they fell off a little bit of a cliff, it maybe put doubts in people's minds, and it shouldn't have. Yeah. But I think he's a really, really good manager. But the players
that they still have, like... especially Semenyo, to keep his services. He signed a new deal. Not sure he'll be there past this season, but they kept him. The return of Brooks. Look what he's been through from having cancer and coming back. And playing some of the football he's playing. He was excellent against Spurs. Evan Nilsson, since he's come in, has been top for them. He'll be another one where if he.
I just wonder about the ambition for Bournemouth. I know there's talks of a new training ground, but in terms of stadium,
they've got a new training ground. It's difficult, isn't it? They're still a very, very small club that have to be run in a certain way.
Yeah, but then, so when I say the ambition of the club, I mean
investment to give them
Yeah, because if you are those players you just mentioned, you'd want to stay at Bournemouth. You'd want to have, potentially have a chance of a European run. Absolutely. But ultimately, for your own ambition, it's not big enough.
No, they're gonna find it difficult to keep players. That are doing really well. They are, and that will probably be their model. It's no different to Brighton. no different to Brentford.
Very true.
You know,
very,
no
very
different
true.
To lots of
and I think the fans and the manager and the owners understand and accept it. As long as we get good money for you, we're not going to stop you. You can go.
Exactly.
And both clubs have shown to do that, especially Brighton.
So it can be done, but there does always seem to be a shelf life on that. But tough game to call. I'm gonna go 1-1 on this.
Yeah, Iriola versus Hertzler. It's almost the battle of the managers as opposed to the players.
Yeah,
and I think 1-1 was a good shout as well. I found one Fulham versus Leeds.
I'm gonna go Fulham. I don't know if Leeds didn't do it. I don't know the top
Fulham,
end.
You know, like we earlier spoke about Wolves and Brentford and West Ham. Fulham, bottom three. You always feel like Marco Silva's been doing magic tricks with the squad.
Haven't signed any players.
No.
Didn't sign any players, really.
Dude.
Goalkeeper, second goalkeeper, I think they signed. Listen, I know Man United didn't beat them, but that was my first look at them for 90 minutes and wasn't impressed with them. I think they're going to struggle this year. They just didn't have that air of freshness about them, although they were robbed against Chelsea and did actually play really well.
You know who needs to really step up? And I think we've almost forgotten that he was an England international. Like, he came through before Saka. Emil Smith-Rowe.
Yeah.
Like, I think we just accepted that. We've just accepted that Emil Smith-Rowe is just a fringe player. Like, there was a time, I remember, I think it might have been Paul Merson. I was like, England ain't got anything like that. That's what we do, obviously. His drop-off needs to be studied.
Well, even at Fulham, you've got young Josh King, who's coming in. He's 18 years of age, and he's looking like the next one up. That number 10
should be Emil Smith-Rowe.
It should be him.
Game
in, game out, you're the number one star.
I've dropped off a level in terms of club from Arsenal to Fulham, so I've dropped down a level.
So I go to Fulham and
I should be the man.
Yeah.
I.e. Jack Grealish right now, what he's doing Man City to Everton. I'm the man. Yeah. This is easy for me because this is the level I was playing at before.
Yeah.
I am surprised.
He's got to find himself. He's a player that he doesn't play with a lot of like super intensity, but he's a really nice footballer. Give him the ball, little tight spaces, he get out of it. He's got a nice touch, decent little finish on him, and look, he scored against United coming off the bench. But you're right, he needs to, exactly. He needs to find that level of consistency in his game to really kick on.
Yeah,
and he's going to have like I say, if Josh King keeps going the way he's going,
then he's going to have a problem. Very quickly, go on score prediction.
I'm still going to go Fulham.
Fulham at home. Yeah. These are the kind of games that if you're Leeds, you're thinking this is where we can start getting the points to stay in the league. All right, there you go. Let's get an update as to what's going on in the second T20, I think, for the final time tonight. John Norman watching England versus South Africa.
Well, I'm just glad you're tipping Fulham to beat Leeds tomorrow, so I'm off to the game with my boy, and we could do with the 3 points. Although I think you should have mentioned that's a pretty tough start to the league. Away at Brighton, a home against Man United, who we hadn't taken a point from in 15 years, and then away at Chelsea. So 3 points tomorrow, and we'll be okay. South Africa 8 down now, 158 for 8. 304 for 2, England. Brilliant innings from Phil Salt, 142 not out, 83 from Butler, and South Africa just have not come close, as you'd expect, really. 3 wickets going the way of Archer, couple to Curran, and Will Jackson's just picked up one as well. 158 for 8 then, South Africa, and England are going to draw level in this 3-match series with 1 to play.
Cheers, John. Thank you very much. All right, next we're going to look ahead to the EFL games this weekend. With Ipswich currently leading Sheffield United 4-0 over on talkSPORT 2. Good evening, thank football. It's Friday. Ade Oladipo alongside Flex. We are going to talk EFL in a moment with Ryan Dilks from the Second Tier podcast. But it's all over in the second T20 between England and South Africa. Let's go back to John Norman.
England have won by 146 runs. A massive, massive win. A statement win, really. England went 1-0 down in the rain-affected first T20. Nothing really to take from that. But boy, oh boy, has it been brilliant today. Jos Buttler really setting the game up with his 30-ball 83, and when he was dismissed, Phil Salt actually escalated things a touch. 142 not out in the end. England going past 300 for the first time. 304 for 2 then, so 305 the target. I won't read some of the South African bowling figures out. And South Africa, well, they just didn't get close. They went for their runs. They put on 50 for the first wicket, but when Ryan Rickerton was out, that set in motion a little bit of a collapse, and they never ever recovered. So a huge win for England. They've beaten South Africa by 146 runs, and we go to Trent Bridge on Sunday for the decider.
Thank you very, very much, John Norman. All right, let's welcome in Ryan Dilks, member host of the Second Tier podcast. Ryan, as always, appreciate you coming on. Thank you very much. Look, we have to start in the game that's over on talkSPORT 2 at the moment. Ipswich thumping Sheffield United. Currently 5-0. Could have been 6, could have been 7, could have been anything. And my focus, I want to focus on sort of Sheffield United manager, Ruben Selles. Look, he was at Hull, didn't do great there. He's got this job. Chris Wilder's been sort of given the push, and they're bottom of the table. What I'm trying to get at is I don't see anything as to how this man can keep his job. I'm not advocating for someone to get sacked, but this is probably one of the worst performances I've seen all season.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to justify a manager getting sacked after just 5 games, but Ruben Sayers is doing a pretty good job of justifying it right now, isn't he? Look, the table speaks for itself, doesn't it? This will be Sheffield United's 5th loss from 5. They have, in this game, managed their first shot on target in an away game in the 58th minute, and unless something changes in the next 7 minutes, it'll be their only shot on target away from home. They've gone over 7 hours without scoring a goal.
Ouch.
And keep in mind, for anyone who isn't too familiar, Sheffield United under Chris Wilder last season won a record points tally for the most points by a team in Championship history who didn't get promoted. So it was a bizarre decision to sack him in the first place, and now it's looking absolute madness considering what we're watching right now. Because you're absolutely right, it's been an absolute demolition job from Ipswich.
On the flip side, Ipswich, who look, they've not started the season incredibly well themselves, but they do look good here. Kieran McKenna's starting to, I guess, warm to being back in the Championship, if you like. Jaden Philogene looked fantastic in his hat-trick. Do you expect this to kind of kickstart their season, or is it just because Sheffield United are so bad?
Well, I think the answer's somewhere in the middle, to be honest, because Ipswich have been pretty poor. This will be their first win of the season. To be honest, they haven't really deserved a win in these first 4 games prior to this. This one Yeah, I think they've been helped a lot by Sheffield United being very bad, but I think we're all expecting them to get going at some point because they just have simply too much talent to not get going. It helps when you've got someone like Jadon Philogene, who's an absolute baller in the first place. So yeah, I think this will definitely spur them on and hopefully kickstart their season. As I say, there's a lot of Sheffield United playing a big part in this game, but you'd be very cynical if you didn't think they'd go on to better things after this.
Yeah, let's focus on the game tomorrow. Oxford versus Leicester. It's live on talkSPORT 2. Lunchtime kickoff gets underway at 12:30. Oxford are in real danger, aren't they? I mean, and this is a tough ask as well. Leicester started the season quite well. I think it's fair to say Oxford, the complete opposite, haven't started well. I mean, it's a big opportunity for Oxford to kind of kickstart their season, but this is a Leicester side that keeps a lot of their players that they got relegated from in the Premier League, and it's like a Premier League side really in the Championship.
Yeah, Oxford are a bit of a strange one because they've obviously got one of the smallest budgets in the division, but they didn't really sign anyone over the summer. So they had one of the weakest squads going anyway. If the season was 3 or 4 games longer, they may have very well gone down last season. And they've signed 2 players on a permanent deal. I think only 3 players or 4 players on loan. So they've not really strengthened at all, which is quite alarming considering how they've started the season. And you're right with Leicester. Of course, they've got Abdul Fatawu, who was linked with a move to Everton in the summer. He's an unbelievable player, and they've got some great young talented players coming through as well. They have been a bit ropey so far, Leicester. They haven't really despite the results actually being quite good, they haven't been that impressive on the eye, but they'll be heading into this game thinking we can continue this decent start against an Oxford side who are pretty poor and maybe do a lot better than a lot of people have expected with Leicester, because I don't think many, after various problems off the pitch, we're expecting them to do that well this season, but they're certainly, as far as the results have gone so far, been doing pretty well.
Another game this weekend, Ryan, is Stoke versus Birmingham. That's exclusively live on talkSPORT 2. Who needs this game more? Who needs to win more out of Stoke City and Birmingham?
I'd say probably Birmingham, because Birmingham are looking to keep the pressure in the automatic promotion race. Stoke have started the season well in terms of their results as well. Birmingham will just be looking at it thinking this is a game where we've just got to stay solid. They've probably been the most impressive of the teams who, at least with the bookies, are right up there amongst the favourites for promotion this season. Well, up until this game by Ipswich, I'll make that clear. But yeah, Birmingham will be looking at this thinking it's another chance for them to continue their decent start. And of course, it's the Gary Rowett derby between 2 sides with mixed opinions of Gary Rowett. I think that's fair to say. But yeah, Birmingham will be looking forward to this one, I imagine.
Let's talk about the derby. We have to talk about the derby on Sunday. Southampton versus Portsmouth. Southampton have struggled coming back into the Championship. Portsmouth have actually done a bit better than I expected. This one's always been feisty. I've missed it because we don't see it as much. Portsmouth have been languishing in League One. Southampton have been in the Premier League. Finally, they're together in the Championship. This one's going to be good. Southampton have been underwhelming, though, I think it's fair to say, since coming down from the Premier League.
Yeah, I think they found that adjustment down to the Championship to be quite difficult. In recent years, we've seen teams coming down from the Premier League bounce back pretty well. I don't think it's too surprising after how shocking Southampton were in the Premier League last season, and they've got a new manager in Will Still, who's new to the league as well, and they've signed a fair few players in the final week or so of the transfer window, so it may take a bit of time for that to all gel. I don't think that'll be too surprising if that is the case. Of course, South Coast derby, as you say, the first one in the league in 13 years. Wow. And it's a big old derby.
It's a massive derby.
Isn't it, Laz?
It's a bit naughty as well.
It's got needles.
Oh, yeah. It could get a bit naughty. It could get a bit feisty on Sunday. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this because, as you say, Portsmouth have started the season pretty well. So they've got a chance to get one over their big neighbours, who, of course, have been enjoying a much better time than they have over the past decade or so. So, yeah, it could be a great chance to get some bragging rights for them.
Ryan, just before I let you go, I don't want to ask you about this new proposed structures of the playoff system in the EFL, expanding the playoff teams to those that finish 8th as opposed to what it is now, which is 6th. It's been sort of pushed back on by quite a few fans. Obviously, look, I mean, you're an EFL expert. Myself and Flex, not only are we stuck to the Premier League, we're probably stuck to the top 6 of the Premier League. Explain it for us, and is it likely to go ahead? Because again, there has been some pushback on it. We see it in the National League, but some people are saying, why are you trying to sort of change something that's not broken?
Yeah, well, the playoffs aren't broken. You're absolutely right. That's probably one of the best bits about the Championship, the playoffs in May, isn't it? It's the most entertaining round of games that you'll have. Personally, I'm a fan of it because what it will mean is that there's fewer games on the final day, which are dead rubbers. I think we had a fair few this past summer, because not only would it mean that there's a race for 2 extra places in the playoffs, it would also mean there's actually a race for 4th place, because the idea is that 5th and 8th will play each other, 6th and 7th will play each other, and then they'll meet 3rd and 4th. So that means there's a race to finish 4th, so you don't have to play that extra game. But I think it's a good idea. It means more playoff action for us. I can understand what some critics have said, where it does seem a bit mad that a team who finished 8th still has a chance of getting promoted. But ultimately, you've got to get the job done if you are finishing 3rd or 4th anyway. So I'm all for it. If it means fewer dead rubber games on the final day of the season, then let's go for it, I say.
Ryan, as always, my man, appreciate you coming on. Thank you very much. Ryan Dilks, a host of the Second Tier podcast. When we come back, we're going to talk about the Renaissance man, Jack Grealish, a Premier League Player of the Month so far. Look at that, DJ. Mixer's like a DJ, he is. All right, do you want the chance to win 25,000 in cash? Yes, I do. Can I enter this competition? Plus Oasis tickets, their very last show at Wembley on the 27th of September. Listen up, because we're giving you that chance to win with our biggest competition yet. 2 lucky winners, yes, 2 will win a pair of tickets to see Oasis live at Wembley for the last time. But that's not all. Along with the tickets, one of you will win a massive 25 grand in cash. So not a bank transfer. Like someone just actually brings a case to you. It's a bit risky, that, isn't it? Yeah. You've got to make sure it's at home. You can't do that in Peckham, can you? You can't do it in Peckham. All right, for all the details on how to enter, listen up right now, because you could be one of those lucky winners.
18 plus, UK excluding Northern Ireland. For a chance to win, text the word Oasis to 83338 and you're in the draw. Text costs £2 plus 1 standard network rate message. You must have the bill payer's permission. Or you can enter for free by calling 0330 880 3338. All entries must be received by the 19th of September at 9 a.m. This is a talkSPORT limited promotion run on talkSPORT, Talk and Virgin Radio UK stations. Full terms and conditions at talksport.com.
Very quickly, it is all over in the game on talkSPORT 2. It did end Ipswich 5, Sheffield United 0.
Ruben Sellers there walking off the pitch like he's
shaking everyone's hand.
But he looks like he's looking,
because you don't want to go back to the change room. You just want to, when you've been out late when you were young, and if I go home I'm in trouble, so I might just stay out. He's basically staying out on the pitch, isn't he? Doesn't want to go home.
It's a bad one.
Change room. All right, let's talk about Jack Grealish. We've got a couple of minutes here. Jack Grealish has started the season so well for Everton.
He has.
And it's almost like he's free. Like, you watch him and, look, Jack Grealish looked good at Man City, but the Jack Grealish that was at Villa, where it was like, okay, this is your free role. Just go and win us games and play the way you play. It's almost like he's playing like a kid. That just give me the ball and let me do some magic. And I found that I think a lot of players need to kind of look at this. Obviously, look, you want to go to the big clubs, the big money, win the trophies, but you also want to play football. And I'm looking at Jack now, and he seems as happy as he's ever been.
This is why I think it was so important for him to just. It was less about I'm Jack Grealish. I've been here. I've won the treble, mate. I need to be a team that's in Europe. I need to be big club challenge for. No. Just go where you're going to be loved. Just go where you're going to be the main man. You're going to play week in, week out, and can enjoy your football. And I'm not saying Everton are only that as well, and they're not ambitious and looking to build a new Everton. They're in a new stadium. There's a good vibe about the place. David Moyes knows what he's doing. They've invested quite well as well. They've got some good players. And Jack can be the focal point of that. I'll be honest, I'll be one of Jack Grealish's biggest critics. I think getting away with it, 100 million, not doing enough for me.
Yeah, same.
I'm always onto him, I'll be honest, but because I know he could be a top player. And it frustrates me.
You know, when people give players stick, it's because we think you're better than them.
Yeah, it's that he isn't one of the ones where I'm like,
give you stick
he's overrated. He's rubbish. Exactly. He's not that. So I think it's great. I think it's great for Evertonians as well to have this type of player.
That type of maverick
player who's like also ready for this stage of his career where he's like, I need the love of the game back. I need the love of the game back, and I need to be loved back. And they will give him both.
And by the way, another thing for Everton players and fans, this is a player who isn't used to losing. So he won't
raise
accept.
The standards
he'll raise the standards. He won't accept, we're just going to go away to this team and lose.
Yeah.
No, 1 second. I haven't done that for 5 years.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, listen, a couple of the assists, don't get me wrong, he tapped the ball to James Garner and he rifled it, You've got to be a bit careful. But listen, he's got 4 assists. He's been in form. He's taken the ball. He's going at plays. He's going on the outside. He's involved, And it isn't about sort of going through it with a fine-tooth comb and going, oh, is he really that? Is it? Come on, are we doing a bit?
We could do that, though.
I know, but let's know. But you know what?
When you got that player of the month, 1 second. What are we doing here? Is this a vote of just popularity?
No. Let's let him have it, man. He's been locked up by Pep for a long while. We're not able to express himself. So now it's good to see a player like him who's got bags of talent still, even at this age. And you think, wow, he's 30 now.
I look at someone like him.
For ages.
That's
gone quick.
That's gone quick,
Not to say he's done.
No, but it's gone quick. He's got to 30
I can't believe he's 30 already.
By the way, it's crazy. He's the same age as Raheem Sterling.
Raheem, you are a legend.
Raheem feels like
this is 40. What I mean. Put
Raheem's
respect
been around
on
for
these
that
guys'
long.
names.
Absolutely. I wonder if Phil Foden looks at Jack Grealish, enjoying his football, and thinks,
might be me soon. Might be me.
In order to kind of really enjoy it and just play
even
with
higher heights. He was a player of the year. Year before last. PFA player of the year.
I think we forget sometimes how, Cole Palmer's gone on to, Cole Palmer was allowed to go by Pep because we've got Phil Foden.
Yeah, it's fine. We'll be okay. And now it's like,
yeah.
Look what
I do wonder if players will look at that, because these players that play in these systems and they just want to be unleashed and be maverick type players. I do wonder if they'll look at it and think, okay, yes, I want the trophies, and yes, I want to be playing in Champions League, but ultimately I want to be playing football and enjoying myself.
Yeah, and I think Phil Foden, he needs to regain his form very, very quickly, or he could head that way.
Yeah,
he could. I'm not saying he's there yet. He's always like 25 now.
Yeah, maybe a bit older.
Maybe a little bit older.
Oh no, 25. Just been confirmed.
25. So he's in that sort of middle bit, and he feels like he's been around for ages as well. But whether it's off the pitch, whether it's a mentality issue, whether it's injuries, whatever it is, he's got to recap.
I just want to see Phil Foden back to his best. And
exactly, he's a fantastic footballer.
Man City are rivals a little bit. When he's on, and that left foot, it's just
so talented.
Oh, incredibly talented. Incredibly talented. And I think England could do with that Phil Foden being back to his best as well. Flex, it's been great.
Been a pleasure.
It's been great.
Been a pleasure. All I need.
Rory, you're more than welcome to have more holidays if you like. Go and play poker anywhere you want, because we've got an able replacement for you. Able replacement. All right, up next it is Sports Bar Weekend, Majestic and Carlton Cop.